Welcome everybody. Thank you for hanging out on our Zoom. I appreciate you. We already got Brenda asking questions. I freaking love it. You know, I get the most enthusiastic people in my Zooms, bro.
Yeah, love it, man. You got the greatest audience in the game.
I agree. I agree 100%. So guys, welcome to Real Estate Reality Check with myself and Cody Sperber. We're going to be here for about an hour and a half hanging out with you guys. And you know, somebody on Wholesale Hotline said, what are you guys doing the Zoom about tonight? And I said, or Sperber actually said, we actually just want to say thank you to all the people that we've been spamming for the last 10 days on the Time to Thrive Challenge. Who, guys, give me some love in the comments. Who has been having a lot of fun in the Time to Thrive Challenge?
Yeah, and I think it's important to show love back. I mean, anytime we're doing anything like, you know, a challenge, we're bringing in the big dogs. You know, we wouldn't even bring it to you if it wasn't the big dogs. But like when Dean and Tony reached out and shared with what they were doing with us, we were in right away. Obviously, we wanted to go through the challenge. But I've also been on the other end of getting emails from people. And it's like when you get 100 emails, it's like, okay, cool. This is just a great way for us to give back. The market is radically shifting. Two real estate guys that just live and breathe this stuff. And I just said, hey, why don't we just go live, hour and a half, answer questions, talk about some market stats. Last time I was on here, we kind of went over some market stats and things that were happening. I think that was maybe July. Yeah. That was July's June stats shared in July. Well, we're now in August, so July stats can be shared with you guys. And it's crazy how drastic the market is changing.
Yeah, it is changing dramatically. We've got properties listed on the MLS right now that we're lowering our prices and we are getting less activity. Things are changing dramatically, like week in and week out. A couple of things I want to address in the comments as we've got 600 people in here and it will grow here steadily over the next couple of minutes. I want to touch on a couple of things. Jordan Tackman says, I've got to go hit the recordings. I was catching up on the elephant challenge all week long. Cool. So I did the elephant challenge. We helped people submit offers. We broke a world record. We submitted 1,243 offers in one day as a community. And that was the world record. World record prior to that was 900 in one day. We are bringing in Guinness next month on August 18th, and we're going to break the world record again with 2,500 offers submitted simultaneously as a community. That's going to be pretty sick.
And Guinness is actually going to document it.
Yeah,
dude, how great is that? I've always wanted one of those. Because I mean, people get it for the weirdest stuff, you know? So I think, did you come up with that? Like,
actually, here's what's funny is I was like, I think the world, we looked up how many offers had been submitted by one brokerage in a day was 900. And so we were like, we're going to beat these people. And I was just joking around. And then somebody in the community goes out and they actually call Guinness.
I love that.
They call Guinness and they submit, and then it goes through a 2-week submittal process. They call me and they go, what are you guys doing? And I go, we broke the world record. And they go, well, we weren't there to document it. How do you know you submitted 1,243 offers? I go, well, the only way I could document it is everybody was out submitting offers and we had them screenshot. This is like the most archaic thing ever. It's the same way I set up my Zooms, apparently. So it's super archaic, but we had people screenshot their offers and then submit them in the Facebook group, the Creative Finance with Pace Morby Facebook group. And we manually counted 1,243 offers in a 24-hour period. They're like, yeah, that's not going to work. And so right now you
got to come up with a offer counting strategy.
Exactly. That's probably something Sperber could do. Every time I do it, I send an email, I do a Zoom, I send out a text. Sperber's like, yeah, you did that wrong.
I think if they, oh man, I wish you can have everybody do it through Deal Automator, because Deal Automator, you could see all the submitted offers. But that might be technically a lot hard to get everybody.
Well, the challenge I'm trying to do is there's so many people in the community that don't have a dollar to their name.
Yeah. So I
was like, how can we teach you guys to call an agent, submit an offer through text message, like literally just get something done and fail, like purposely fail on your first offer and like take that as a big major win. That's what we were trying to do. And I actually had people who are like, I've paid for this mentorship, this mentorship, and you were the only person that actually got me to take action. Because if I could invent one magical pill, guys, it wouldn't be that magical blue pill that somebody else already invented. So we got that. It wouldn't be to cure cancer. I would invent a pill that people would take and it would force them and compel them to take action on things that are important.
Here's what I've discovered over the years, and I've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of very high performers and also a ton of newbies. And the head and the heart. It's two different completely software operating systems. With your head, we go online, we go to videos, we go to Tony Robbins, we go to people that are playing the game at a high level, and they motivate us, right? They talk a big game, they say all the perfect words. You go to that. How many of you guys have gone to that event, Clever Summit? And a lot of people came, and you leave there and you're just jacked out of your freaking mind. Like, you know, with all of you, that you're fired up, ready to run through a wall. You're going to go dominate. Like, it is the bomb, right? Like, you feel so good. I'm getting goosies saying this. That is your head. That is us transferring energy over to you. But just like Newton's cradle, when you pull that ball back and you let it go and it fires through and it hits the other balls and that one shoots out, that transfer of energy coming out of an event, that's that motivational energy. The challenge that most people have, though, is the head and the heart are disconnected. They're out of alignment. And motivation is your head. Inspiration, in spirit, is your heart. When you are in spirit, it's a soul burning feeling where you don't need motivated. You don't need a pep talk. You don't need somebody to come say, come on, dude, here's the perfect scenario with all the perfect like turns and twists and the roadmap and everything's laid out for you. Don't worry. There's not going to be any challenges or everything's done for you. Just go ahead and follow the recipe. That's not business. Business is tough. There's going to be hurdles. There's going to be no's. There's going to be fear and people making fun of you along the way and all this noise and self-limiting beliefs. And, oh my God, do my parents agree with this? And my best friend? And what is my significant other? But when you're inspired and it's coming from the heart, none of that matters. When it's up here, it matters. That stuff gets loud over time. How many of you guys have made an artificial time restraint on your success? I know I have.
What do you mean by that?
Like you buy, this happens all the time. They buy a course and they have to get a deal before the credit card bill is due.
Oh yeah.
Like, I have to do a deal within the next 30 days or real estate sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going to try this new lead gen thing. And if it doesn't work within 5 minutes, it's garbage. The guy's a scam and I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? We do that to ourselves all the freaking time. But when you're doing something out of love or you're really passionate about it, like when I picture like pure love, like the purest love I've ever felt in my life, I picture my daughter or my dog.
I thought he was going to say me, but
I picture Pace J. Morby. But like, you can tell me my daughter has been kidnapped. She's in a building. There are no windows or doors in this building. The building is on fire. It's surrounded by a minefield. There are barbed wire fences everywhere, crocodiles that are really hungry, and people sniping at you. And it wouldn't matter to me. I'd find a way in that building to save my daughter. There would be no hurdle or challenge big enough to hold me back. I'd rather die trying.
Right.
But we do this thing with business or with money when it's up here, when it's something we see, the motivation loses itself. The challenge is way too big, and we really don't want it bad enough. You guys feel me on this? You guys understand what I'm saying? And so my goal is always to get to here. And what you're doing, Pace, is you're getting community is a key to your success. Is they're seeing all of this stuff happening and it's becoming real. It's belief. It's inspiring their soul. And they're going, okay, this is more than just logical steps that Pace is saying. This is actually a feeling that I have in my DNA now, and I want it. And when you want it that bad, they go and do it. And that's kudos to you, man, because that's very difficult to create.
It's hard. I hear everything you're saying. I learned, I'm a blue collar guy. And what did your dad do for a living?
2 chicks at the same time. Come on, no. My dad was a hard worker.
Financial guy.
No, he wasn't a financial guy. He worked in the school business, like a technical school. So he was like beauty colleges and construction colleges and like ITT Technical Institute. He always worked in like lower management and tried to work his way up. But yeah, just a hardworking, normal guy. No college degree, no education.
Okay, so my dad, I grew up similar, right? Most people, who's blue collar in here? Who doesn't have a dad was a born CEO, right? Think about the things that you guys learned, right? What I learned is what my dad was physically doing, right? Because my dad, I remember I was driving in his blue F-150, driving down State Street in Ogden, Utah, and my dad turns to me and he says, "Hey, buy real estate. They're not making more of it.
Mm.
And I was like, amazing. And that went one ear out the other. And what I learned is how to tape baseboards that day, because my dad was a painter that got himself through college to raise 12 children. I learned by watching what my dad did. So I'm very much a monkey see, monkey do kind of guy. Anybody in here feel like you're a monkey see, monkey do kind of guy? Like you got to be around a community of people. You've got to feel the warmth of the campfire. We got to all be hanging around. That's how I teach. It's how I've followed you for a long time. Even when we first met, I was like, bro, thank you for everything you do, because you show me how the path looks. You basically light that path so I can follow, I can go down it. So there's a couple of questions in here.
Real quick, if your dad did the Time to Thrive challenge, he would be able to teach a class on how to have children.
That's actually very
true.
No,
he would crush.
There's somebody on
12,
here.
12 kids is crazy.
You didn't know that?
No.
12 kids. Yeah, I'm
wow.
third.
What's the secret? What's the move?
Just become Mormon, and
that's it. That's all
happens.
You need to do.
So there's a couple of questions. Here we go. Adel Cox says, I too am wanting the package that you guys are giving away for signing up for Project Next. So let me talk about that for a minute, because there's literally like 18 or 20 people that I've seen pop up. Who has that question about the package? And I'll clear that out real quick, and we'll jump back on strategy. Okay, a lot of people. Okay, so here's a couple of things. I'm in the information business. I'm so good at the information business that nobody really looks at me as being in the information business. Has anybody ever described Pace Morby as being in the information business? Does anybody ever describe me as that? Or do you guys think of me as a community builder? Right? I literally learned from Cody Sperber. I learned from Dean. I learned from Tony. I learned from all these guys, but I just put my own spin and my own flavor on what really meant everything to me. And I went out and I built, see, Peggy Stevens, no Pace, community all the way. Daniel Quijano says, I bought it last night. I want y'all's package. Meow. Okay, so guys, here's what I'm doing. I'm actually adding a bonus on top of the bonus package that you sent out. Okay, here's the bonus. Here's the bonus. Who believes that Subto, sorry, Sperber, who believes that Subto is the greatest community in real estate today? Okay, wow.
I was going to say, I agree with that statement. Dude, I know when I'm beat.
Dang.
I know when I'm beat. I told you that from the beginning. I said, you're the greatest community builder in the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That means the world to me. So guys, here's what I'm going to do. I learned how to build my course, subto.com, from Dean and from these other guys. I actually took the Time to Thrive Challenge. It wasn't called the Time to Thrive Challenge back then.
Project Next.
Project Next is what it was called when I took it. And so I was so excited about this, because here's what I'm doing, guys. I'm rebuilding Subto in its entirety, start to finish, right? And we're calling it Subto 2.0. And what we're doing is I am going to work with anybody that buys the Time to Thrive package. You guys will work side by side with me on working on building your courses and your information product. I'm going to work with you guys side by side. There you go. Frank Mujo says,
I'm down too to help. Like, obviously I know how to create courses and stuff. So I'm down to do like a Zoom call.
It worked because I was hoping you were going to say that, because there's no way I could have done it without you.
I would totally help.
Okay, so check this out. Frank Mujo says, that's all I needed to hear. I'm sold.
Dude, thrivewithbonuses.com. If you go to thrivewithbonuses.com, it'll bring you to the cart. And then I'm gonna show you what I'm throwing in on top of that, which is in total, you're getting about $30,000 worth of bonuses. So, we could get more to that here in a little while after we do some real estate stuff. But like, if you take advantage of this opportunity, I also talked to Dean right before we went live here. And I just said, Dean, would you be open to coming on and doing a 1-hour coaching call with us? Like just a Q&A with the community that bought and has invested in this. I'm like, they're putting a lot of trust in us and a lot of love and energy and money into this. We're going to throw in over $30,000 worth of bonuses, but all the courses in the world, nothing's better than having Dean undivided attention for a straight hour and a half, just talking how he launched his education world to the top of the food chain. And I've known Dean for a long time. The fact that he imagine someone out there watching you and then someday becoming partners with you because they connected this.
Guys, how many people have become partners with me? Dan Quijano, I just funded a $290,000 deal with him. Ingrid, I just funded, her and I are doing a fix and flip together. Myron and Carolyn, you and I are doing a $3 million multifamily deal together. I partner with people in my community.
I love that. Well, I mean, Dean set out a goal to just do some education because he was inspired by Tony, and now he's business partners with Tony and CEO of Tony's company.
Right.
So like, that's crazy to me how far this is $1 trillion industry. That
let me talk about something. So a little bit ago, I appreciate you a lot. And I think you see me pass that along to you all the time.
Oh, dude, all the time. Very great.
Okay. So tomorrow at 4 a.m., I'm flying out to Charlotte, North Carolina to see my first project that I have purchased and put in my portfolio, over $100 million acquisition.
Dude, that's a big one.
I have chills going up my entire spine right now because being able to say that. Check that. I sent you the image of this.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I love this.
Let me show this to you guys. These are my investors that came on board with us, and they're flying out and flying them all out, putting them up in hotels, and we are visiting the project together. So, bro, that came about from Avengers, the mastermind.
Yep.
And you getting me in proximity with other people that are operating at a high level. I need to pay. We're not talking about joining Avengers. Okay. I'm sure that Sperber would love for you to join Avengers. I would love for you to join Avengers, but that's not what this call's about. I joined Avengers. You put me in touch with Vina. You put me in touch with a handful of other people. The NFT project that I'm building right now is from your network, from Avengers. Mm-hmm. And so I go spend 30 G's on getting in the right room with the right people. It's a hefty price tag. We're definitely not talking about that today. Okay, guys? That has made me this year, it put in my portfolio $109 million worth of real estate in one transaction because of meeting one person.
Pace is like the ultimate action taker. I love it. And you send me these texts like, hey, dude, because of you, I'm going to make an extra $1 billion in my lifetime. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But you're actually doing it. So I think it's rad.
But here's the thing, guys. For me, I'm rebuilding Subto education. I released it back in June of 2020. So it's 2.5 years old. And it's time for me to refresh, especially right now. The new book with Bigger Pockets is coming out. I have done over 1,500 transactions since I released that course, all creative finance. And so I have so many things to go back and rebuild and redo. And so I will build my education course alongside anybody else that's part of the Time to Thrive Challenge. So what's the link again?
It's thrivewithbonuses.com. And do you get my emails?
Can you guys put, I get your emails, but you email me too much, so I delete them all. I'm just kidding, guys. Thrivewithbonuses.com. Yeah. By the way, who's already purchased the Thrive thing? Because I want to talk to the people who have already purchased. Don Walker, purchased. Okay, a lot of people purchase. Keep going, guys. I want to see how many people I'm talking to, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. I want to get to the market analysis. Okay, when does Subto 2.0 come out? John Carroll, it comes out. John Carroll, you're new to Subto, bro. The most valuable thing in my community in Subto is my community. So you're in the right place. A lot of times when I talk about re-releasing Subto 2.0, people think that the education part is the most important. It's significantly important, but the most important part of the live calls that we do. So I will give you guys, not only will I show you how I'm building my course, I will show you how I built my community. Okay, I will give you all the insight of what that took to come up with the best, greatest community on planet Earth. Okay, so anybody that's in the thrivewithbonuses.com.
Accept that.
Okay.
Throw that up on the page.
Ooh.
Fancy. Look at us go.
That's dope. Hold on. You just sent that to me?
Yeah.
Or did you airdrop that?
I airdropped that.
Dang, dude. Are you kidding me?
How do we, is it up on the screen?
Yeah, it's up on the screen.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so you're telling me that's
the bonus package that we put together. $30,000 in bonuses. Every course I've ever created, all my best stuff over 10 years of just me being in the education space. I just thought, you know what? I'll just give them access to everything.
That's gangster. Guys, I'm gonna take this off the screen. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. I want to hold that back a little bit for people that actually want to stick around with us. One more time, who are the people who signed up for Thrive? And I want to address you for like 2 minutes. And then we'll get back to the analysis and all the other stuff that we're going to do. Okay, a lot of people in here. Who has not signed up but like is on the fence? Type in the word fence.
How can you see the screen?
You got, bro, you got to get some glasses.
No. I mean, it's just crazy. Like I was going to say, everybody, there was all these me's and then.
Okay, so a lot of the people on the fence. Okay, what is the reason why you guys are on the fence, right? Because here's what I want to do. You guys saw what I did with the Elephant Challenge. We got 1,243 people to submit their first offer in their life. I'm going to continue to do that every single month. It's going to be an amazing thing. But what I love doing is I love doing things with people, right? This is not a program. This is an activity that we are going to do together as a collective community. If you guys want to see the behind the scenes of how I'm going to build Subto 2.0, this is how you do it. Okay.
You know, you can come to my office and record in my studio all your courses if you ever want to use it.
Wow.
I'm almost done, dude. So super dope.
Are you offering that to people to get thrivewithbonuses.com?
You know, if I'm not using the studio, they can sign up for some studio time. Yeah, dude, I don't care. It just sits there. They have to bring their own videographer though.
Love it. So here's something I really like. Dave Petit says, I haven't joined. I'm not on the fence. I decided to do real estate, not teach what I know. Bro, you know what's
perfect?
Great?
This is perfect for you.
Oh my gosh, this is so great. Okay, first and foremost, I don't just do this with real estate, by the way. That's the great thing about the Time to Thrive stuff, is that it also teaches you how to write books. It teaches you how to create
meetups,
Facebook
events.
groups. Look at my Facebook group.
You know how much deal flow you get through that?
Do you know how much money people make in this chat right now from that free Facebook group?
Yeah.
Like probably $100 million.
That's what I'm saying. The deal flow in that group is
so
insane.
when people say I decide to do real estate, not teach what I know in real estate, I'm like, don't you know that like 40% of my deals come from the people I teach how to do real estate?
And you don't really have to teach. That's the thing. You're a community builder. That's like right. The shift is like, and first off, I just want to say this. We threw in your Gator lending. We threw in all of my courses, the probate courses, the creative finance courses, the wholesaling courses, the rehabbing courses, the raising private capital courses, exactly for the person that's like, yeah, I'm not there yet. I can't teach yet because I'm still learning. Great. We're going to do something insane. Give in $30,000 worth of real estate training. Now you're even talking about more stuff on top of it. Then we throw in the Dean call. All you got to do is pull the trigger. If you didn't even go through anything but the real estate stuff, you're going to come out significantly ahead.
Right. And one thing I'll add before we get into the analysis, and we've got a couple of people with their hands raised, so we'll jump on that as well. You guys asked the questions. I'm just jumping on it. So I apologize for some people that came for something else. So thank you for being patient. The other thing that I would touch base on is that I'm doing one of the things I'm adding besides the Gator lending training. It's live, teaching you guys how to fund deals and do that kind of stuff. You'll be added to the live community. I never charged for the Gator lending community originally. Okay, it was free. And I did that on purpose to create modules to essentially go out and sell that for a significant amount of money. So before I go out and sell that in November, and I actually charge people to come into Gator, I'm opening a very small window for people to come into that live community. So if you are somebody in that community, here's the thing. My Gator community, if you're a Gator, how much value do you think that Gator lending has earned you or taught you in capital? Just Gator stuff. Who's a Gator in here? Give me a dollar amount.
And while they're answering, Joseph said, if we already purchased, we get the bonuses. Absolutely.
Look at this.
Every single person is going to get it.
Priceless, $1 million. Gator here, tons of value. Love Gator, have come. Okay, great. So I didn't charge for Gator because I did it intentionally. I actually did a reverse build of my course.
Yeah, I think that's one of the favorite ways to do it, especially when you're starting, because otherwise you pre-build a course and you don't even know if people like it.
Right. What I did is I built it side by side, and people started making 20 grand a week, 20 grand a month, 10 grand here. People started making money. And then I tweaked it live, and I did live training, still doing the live training. And I'm about to amplify the live training in the Gator community. So my goal with the Gator community is that I'm actually going to start raising $10 million, $5 million, $2 million live on my trainings. Nobody's ever done this before.
That's cool.
I'm literally going to raise money for multifamily and big syndication.
One person has done.
You?
No. Fan Merrill.
Fan Merrill? Yeah. I'm going to take you down, Fan Merrill.
Fan Merrill. He was the first person I've ever seen. He would do a live.
And raise capital?
Not just some capital. He bought $1 billion worth of commercial real estate just through his network. This is why I keep telling you, Pace, you're going to be the biggest guy in the game. And by the way, he's retired now. He shut down.
So I got a chance. You
got more than a chance.
You
got the torch. Come on, baby. You got the torch.
Okay. So I'm going to do that in Gator, but here's the other thing I'm going to do as well, is that one of the things I haven't built yet, but I'm going to build it live, is I'm building a social media course for you guys as well. That's going to be part of it. How long is this available? We actually have
two more days. That's it.
It's tomorrow.
One more day.
It's tomorrow at noon is the last day, is my understanding. So there we go. This is the question I wanted to answer. Dawn Walker, she always teases me about driving a freaking Ford truck. You know, Dawn Walker, if you bought Time to Thrive Challenge, I'm going to throw in a Ford truck for you. It's going to be plastic and bought at the grocery store, but it's still going to be a Ford truck. She says, if we bought the Thrive this week, will we still get this super valuable bonus? Yes, we are. Here's the thing. Why are we doing this? We're doing this because I believe in it so much. If you guys have quit your job, how many people have quit their job because of what I taught? How many people have improved their marriages, improved their relationships, become better people? How many people have loved their life in the last couple of years because of the community that I built? Okay. So, and by the way, I took Ingrid Hernandez to dinner last night and she says, I'm quitting my job in the next couple of months.
She said that?
Yeah. She said, I'm on my way. So Peggy Stevens,
me. Impacted me?
No.
I'm going to buy this chair as soon as I get out
dope,
of here.
Isn't
this
it?
chair is fantastic.
$1,500.
All right. I'm a Neil Layway program.
I'm
a Neil Layway program. This is a very expensive chair.
Okay. So here's the reason why I'm doing this is because I believe that this is one of the best ways to add an additional source of revenue or an additional source of JV deals. Okay. So there's people, some of the best educators on the planet actually don't sell a course. Do you know what they do? They give a course away for free. Okay. And what they do is they say, go watch this course. It's moduled out. It tells you exactly how to do the business, and then come back to me when you generate leads. So people, even if you don't want to be an educator, it's one of the greatest lead gen ways to get into the business. Okay. So when people say, oh, I want to be in real estate, guys, look at my Facebook group. If I turned off every single source of revenue in my life, my Facebook group alone would bring me more deals than I could handle. My YouTube channel, more deals than I could handle. My Instagram, more deals than I can handle. So I'm building a social media course live. Okay. And I will let only the people in the Time to Thrive Challenge be in that live social media course with me as I build it. And then you guys will do the same thing there live. So was that helpful for anybody that's on the fence for what is it? thrivewithbonuses.com?
thrivewithbonuses.com. You want to know something funny about social media? And look, I created a simple ebook in 2015. Okay.
What's an ebook for people that don't know?
An ebook, just literally like a short book, but it's delivered digitally. Right. And so it was called Flip Houses. If you go to Flip Houses, you don't have to do this, but fliphousesbook.com was where I created literally a one-page squeeze page with this free ebook.
Will you teach people how to build a squeeze page?
Well, I personally teach them how to. Yeah,
somebody on
our coaching call.
Okay.
If we talk about courses, how to sell courses, all that stuff, I will break the whole model down. I've done about 75 or 80 million in online education so far, so a good amount. Mm-hmm. I write my own copy. I build my own funnels. I create my own courses. I'm like the front and back guy, like that didn't come out right.
Yeah,
I'm definitely.
I've talked to Shannon, his wife. I can verify that.
As soon as I said it, I'm like, yeah, yeah. So I do it all, and it's a skill that I developed over time. So I'd love to share that with you guys because I think it's something that can make you guys a lot of money. But the point was, I gave away this ebook. I wrote the ebook in about a week. I sent it to a designer and they made it into an actual ebook, like a downloadable PDF. Developed a little squeeze page. You can see it's the exact same squeeze page I've had since 2015 at fliphousesbook.com. You could just see what it looks like. I've had over 80,000 people download that book. That book leads to a little free webinar that sells a $297 course.
Yeah.
I've sold millions and millions of dollars of that course by giving out that ebook on social media. I bet someone in this community probably went through my funnel and bought something. So it's just like
Peggy Stevens says, I have it.
Yeah. I mean, people have done it, over 80,000 downloads, and it's just been, it's such a simple thing. Like, create a little side hustle income. It could be with anything. For me, it was real estate because I was just so passionate about it. But what's your niche in real estate? Like, maybe you're the probate check, maybe you're the lead gen, whatever master. Mm-hmm. And just, that's it. It's that simple. You don't have to overthink it.
All right, so let's wrap this up. I've got two questions on the side I want to answer. Gary Brown and Brenda, I want to warm you guys up to know that I'm going to call on you in just a minute. I'm sure that they have nothing to do with what we're talking about, which is great because we can deviate and answer some questions for you guys. Okay, so Brian Wood says, my kid looks a little bit like Pace Morby.
Yeah, my kid looks. Pace used to be a mailman.
I used to be a milkman. Yeah. I used to deliver milk. How do we get Cody's software? Do you get Cody's software on this?
No.
You don't need it. You
have your own software.
Yeah. So guys, Seth Knapp, did I hear Pace say he's opening up the Gator Tribe again? Guys, here's the reality. I am opening the Gator Tribe, but I'm selling the access to Gator Tribe for nearly, are you ready for it? People have already said how much Gator Tribe is worth it. You guys never paid me for Gator Tribe when you came in because I'm reverse building a course. If you guys were going to buy Gator Tribe and learn what you learned, what would you have bought Gator Tribe for? People that are in the Gator Tribe.
$1 million.
Okay. $100 million. Brian says, come on, be realistic. Okay. 10K. Well, there you go. You hit it right on the number. I'm actually charging $10,000 for the Gator Tribe.
2K, 1K, 1K, 1,000.
Samsung says it's 10K easy. So I'm charging 10K for that, but I'm not launching the full thing until November. So anybody that comes in through the Time to Thrive Challenge or go to thrivewithbonuses.com, I'm letting you in that live training for free. Okay. I'm letting you in. That's one of the things that I'm doing. I'm letting you in the live training for free. You get to be inside of the community and I'll give you guys the live training for free. Okay. Have I answered that question, guys? Have I answered the question about the Gator side? Okay, cool. Then the most important thing for me is like, I'm rebuilding the Subto course and I want people that you want to learn how to do an ebook. You want to learn how to build a page. You want to learn how to build a Facebook group. You want to learn how to do some of the stuff that I'm currently doing. I want to do that. I want to do that with you guys. Okay. I want to do that with you, meaning I'm going to show you how I'm building my course, Subto 2.0, and I'm going to help you guys along the way. All right. That's one of the additions, the bonuses that I'm throwing in to help you guys actually take action. Okay. Is there anybody better at getting people to take action than me, by the way? Anybody was in the elephant challenge with me? Oscar, I see your question, brother. If you
he just keeps reposting over and over.
Yes,
and over.
I see your question. The answer is yes. Okay. So thrivewithbonuses.com is linked to Time to Thrive Challenge and join. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The challenge is that when we give you guys the link with the / and the this and the that and the blah, 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 nobody knows what it is. So we created a easy to go to.
It's a vanity link. Here's the thing. As soon as tomorrow, when the thing is over, we'll release because I got to download all the people that joined the Project Next community. And then we're going to send you all the bonuses.
Okay, will you?
So it's going to take until tomorrow or the next day before you receive. If you bought today or you bought 2 days ago or 3 days ago, at the end of when they close down the cart and the thing is off the table, which is happening tomorrow, I believe, or the day after, then I'm going to download every buyer and I'm going to send you access to your online training and all these bonuses and everything. So be patient with us, but everybody will get all this stuff and you're going to be completely blown away. Well, I really want to get to some of this real estate stuff, though.
No, I do too. So we'll put that on all that stuff on pause. Have we answered the question for you guys? So on the Thrive stuff, are we all good on this?
Yeah. Yes. A special link is needed. TJ, thrivewithbonuses.com is the link you want to go through. Thrivewithbonuses.com.
Very cool.
Okay.
Can we get, yes, Todd. So Todd, it's interesting. Todd, can I chat with you for just a second? I'd love to chat with you. Let's chat, Todd. I love Todd, chatting with Todd. Todd, how you doing, brother?
Why is he stressing?
No, it's just, it's interesting. Like what happens is it takes a while for people to come into these lives. Todd, you there? He's trying to figure out how to unmute himself, I think. Todd, you there, brother? He's like, oh crap.
Oh.
How you doing, Todd?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I can. Thank you for finding your unmute button. That's awesome. So Todd, I want to just make sure that I get a chance to chat with you or anybody else. It's like, hey, we came in for this a real estate, breakdown of July's information, and we were pretty clear on what we wanted to do and where we wanted to go. But the challenge, I had about 18 people asking questions about something all collectively, and I wanted to hit home on that, almost as if they were asking me a question of how to comp property. So I didn't want to move on from that topic until I could sufficiently ask everybody in the side chat, hey, everybody, are we good? And everybody in the side chat says, yes, we're good. And then we could move on to the next step. Do you kind of see where I was trying to go with that so I could close the chapter on that, not talk about it anymore and move forward?
Yes, of course. I appreciate that. Just,
Thank you.
I had different expectations from the email I got of what was going on tonight, but I was rolling with it, man. I was rolling with it. So
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And I think your question actually answers, your question answers a lot of questions for other people. And that's why I highlighted you, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, cool. So let's get into this. I've got Brenda, Abel, Alex, and Brian Woods. Damn, guys, you guys got questions and everything. Should we answer questions first, or should we go into the July data? What do you guys want? I know Abel wants his question answered. Abel, give me a thumbs up.
Answer some questions. I mean, the July stuff, I just wanted to share just some things that we're seeing on our end here, just being so active in the market and just staring at the research. And I'm sure people are feeling it everywhere. So the thing with the data is it's just, we're just kind of talking about where we landed for July. And for most of us that have active listings or are on the MLS quite a bit.
Do you want to send that to me?
No, this is my notes. This is just some things that I wanted to be able to pull from.
Okay.
But look, guys, who here is an active rehabber, developer, or is a real estate agent buying and selling properties on the MLS at all? For me, I have about 22 active listings right now. We are very aggressively trying to sell our properties. Now, here in Arizona, we're kind of lucky. It is not as bad as it is some other states. Some states have really pumped the brakes.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It's a big freaking deal. And knowing what to do, so my business is broken down to a couple different segments. So we have our wholesaling division, which I think wholesaling over the next year or two is going to save a lot of people's bacon, creating that quick cash coming in. If you can really get good at wholesaling, I think it's a great business, especially as the market is either stalling out or slowly going down. But for me as a builder, as a developer, I'm trying to limit risk. And so we have been working really hard to get our listings out there. Unfortunately, here in Arizona, during the pandemic, because of supply chain issues and all that stuff, we actively had about 7,000 to 8,000 houses on the MLS. With the iBuyers in town, all the institutional buyers, with the lack of inventory, prices skyrocketed. And that's really what caused it. It was a supply and demand issue. Right now, in August, we just crossed over 20,000 active listings here in Arizona. So just to put it in perspective for you guys, in 2010, 11, and 12, when we had a glut of distressed property coming through the system, at the worst, we were at 40,000 active listings on the MLS. Okay? So what we're seeing here right now, we have 25% more active listings that hit the market from the month previous. I believe we're going to, and I'm just talking about Arizona, and I believe we're going to get to about 28,000 active listings here over the next few months. So one thing that we watch as real estate investors is the movement of active listings. Is that going up or is that going down? All right. And so the interesting thing that we're seeing is that there's not as many high-end active listings hitting the market. What we're witnessing is people are dumping their secondary homes. People are dumping their one-off vacation Airbnb, right? They're kind of like, I don't know if Airbnb is going to be a good business. I just tried it. I thought it would be a good idea. But what happened is everybody jumped in and started doing Airbnbs. And so there was a lot of Airbnb listings. And so what we're going to see is good Airbnb operators are actually going to do really well over the next year or two here in Arizona, because a lot of those one-off operators, they're selling their properties right now. They're dumping them on the market. People who feel like a little FOMO, they feel like they missed out, right? They missed like, oh my God, this is my last opportunity to get top market dollar. They're putting it on the market. And so that's why we're seeing the active listings creep up. At the same time, the iBuyers, their demand is waning just a little bit. They actually pumped their brakes for about 3-4 weeks, and now they're starting to buy again. Very slowly, they're starting to buy again. But what we're seeing is their buy boxes are way more aggressive. Way more aggressive. When before they might buy a house a little bit older or a little bit in a different, certain areas of town. Now they're like,
you mean they're being more conservative?
Very conservative.
So they're not being aggressive. They're being way more conservative.
That's what I mean. Okay. I mean, yes. Thank you for clarifying. They're not as open to taking on any deal. They're very specific about what they want. All right.
Interesting. Mike Mittich says, I'm shocked to see how many homes, American homes for rent, have been hitting the market. It's the same thing with Open Door, OfferPad, and some Blackstone stuff too.
So Open Door just got hit with an FTC lawsuit.
$26 million?
Something like that. It was brutal. But deceptive advertising, right? And they're just the first one to go down. The rest of them they're all going down, right? And we knew that there was going to be consolidation of iBuyers. We knew this was going to happen, but we're starting to see it. And all it took was one catalyst, because, and I think I said this last time, if you guys understand how the iBuyers work, they raise millions and millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions, maybe tens of millions.
No. Open Door, when I used to work for Open Door as a contractor.
Yeah.
And they would brag about, we raised another billion dollars.
That's insane. Okay. So they raise this money, but they don't just like put the money in a bank account. That'd be crazy. That money wouldn't earn interest, and they couldn't spend the money fast enough. So what they did, if they did have any liquid cash, they'd buy stock portfolios with it, and their investors, their institutional investment banks would invest the money at a very solid interest rate. Let's call it like, I'm guaranteeing you 8% or 12% on your money. Then what they would do is they would borrow 70 cents of that back out on like a 1% or 2% loan or whatever they did. And they would financial engineer the banking system and then go buy real estate with it. And if you understand, and I said this last time, as inflation goes up, low interest, long-term, good, cheap debt gets eroded over time by high inflation. So if you're at 8, 9, 10% inflation, which is where we're at right now, a 4% mortgage, a 3% mortgage is a phenomenal mortgage to have. So what they did is they did this financial engineering thing, and they went and bought all this real estate. The problem is they bought too much real estate. And when the stock market tanked, it pulled back their line of credit, which caused them to have to stop buying. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened. That's why they pumped the brakes, because the stock market crashed and their lines of credit dried up. So now here we are. We're in this scenario where inventory is starting to go back up. The iBuyers are being more picky with what they're buying. We're seeing in the past, we had a 99.81% list achievement rate.
Say that, explain that, because that is so simple.
A 99.81% list achievement rate, which meant 99.81% of the houses that hit the market got list price or higher.
So let's break this out really simple. Okay. I know it sounds simple, but there's people that are brand new in here that are like, I'm brand new. Guys, if think about it like Craigslist, right? I get a pair of sneakers out of my closet. I go throw those on Craigslist for $100. If they're worth $100, what was going on is 98% of people that were selling their sneakers on Craigslist were selling those sneakers for $100 successfully. Okay. So they were having a 98% success rate on listing their houses on the MLS. That's pretty freaking unbelievable.
So last month was the first month in over a year that it dropped, that listing success rate. And it doesn't sound like a lot. It dropped to 98.7.
Okay.
But what that's doing, and it's starting to decline faster. It's so back in the day, and people ask this, like when you're a wholesaler, everybody goes, like if I'm creating an MAO formula, what is my discount that I want to ask as an investor? Is it 10%, 20%, 30%? Well, during the foreclosure meltdown, I wanted 30% or more off the whatever the ARV was before I even minused out repairs, minused out wholesale fees, because I needed a big discount because the market was trending down or there was a lot of properties on the market. And in order for me to reflip it to a rehabber, I needed to leave a lot of meat on the bones. Well, when the market's really hot, maybe it's a 10% discount, 90 cents on the dollar minus repairs, minus, your wholesale fee. We're starting to see it open back up. That's what I'm getting at. And these are just little things that I pay attention to start to see where's the trend going on, at least here in Arizona.
Well, here's the thing is, guys, there's only 3 ways. If you're brand new to real estate, stop for a moment. Think about this. There are only 3 ways to make money in real estate. And people don't realize how simple this is. There's only 3 ways to make money in real estate as an investor. You can fix and flip. Okay. And fixing and flipping also includes buying a piece of dirt, flipping it to a homeowner by building a house on it. That's technically a fix and flip, right? Or I'm going to fix that dirt up and I'm going to put a brand new house on it and flip it. Okay. Development, fix and flip, tear down, rebuild. That's all fix and flip. Development. That's number 1. Number 2, I can wholesale. And number 3, I can buy and hold. I can tell you everything he's telling you. A wrap is same thing. You're holding a note. Okay. It's a long-term strategy. It's holding a note. Okay. Buying and holding. I'm creating a note. I'm holding that note. You're holding it. Okay. So everything he's telling you about affects all 3 ways of making real estate, whether you're a wholesaler, you're a fix and flipper, or you're a buy and holder. This is significant information. You need to pay attention to this no matter what you're trying to do. I'm curious. We've got roughly 800 people in here. What is everybody's main focal point if you're in real estate? Are you a fix and flipper? Are you a wholesaler, or are you a buy and holder? Not all, don't tell me all 3, because I am all 3. Right now, I'm primarily focusing on buy and hold, but 3-4 years ago, I was focused on wholesale, and a couple of years ago, I was focusing on fix and flip. Now I'm focusing on buy and hold. So I got a lot of wholesale, a lot of wholesale, buy and hold. Interesting, we don't see too many fix and flippers in here. Interesting, a lot of wholesale. So when you're listening to Sperber, think about this specifically about your guys' desire to take the next step in your real estate journey. This affects everything that you're doing.
Okay. And who does wholesalers sell to?
Buy and holders and fix and flippers.
Yeah. I mean, so you need to know this stuff because you need to know how to pitch your deals. That's why we're transferring some of this knowledge to you guys. So that way you guys can understand how to talk to your rehabbers and your landlords and all that. Here's another key metric I focus on. So we talked about listing achievement rate, right? So like if I list for $100, what's my chances of getting $100? That's starting to go down. This one is scary, and it's something I'm really watching. This is listing success rate. It dropped from 91% to 73% in 1 month.
Wait, well, what's the data?
I list it, no buyers, I pull it off the market. I failed.
73%?
73% right now. So it was at 91 as of May 1st to now August 1st, it's under 73%. If more than one out of 3 properties fail to sell, okay, it creates this atmosphere where it's this feeling of like, I'm not going to buy right now, right? It's better to sit on the sidelines. And we're starting to feel that a little bit. Now, this is nowhere near the dreaded 20% that was around in 2008. Okay? So it went from, imagine it going from 91% of listings selling to 20% of listings. I mean, that's like disaster territory. So we're at 73. So I'm paying close attention to this over the next month or 2 to see if that goes from 73 to 65 to 50. We know we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We know that this, there's the creative finance. It's going to be huge, right?
Huge. I just
how many people will get deals when their listing fails and your students show up right behind them and say, I got the solution for you.
Agents are now I've got an agent. Bro, check this out. I'll show you guys. Want to see a deal I just closed today? It's actually, I'm going to break this down for you guys after Sperber leaves. After Sperber leaves in a little bit.
Then all the good stuff happens.
I'll give you guys all the good stuff, all the tasty stuff. So here's a deal I closed today. I'll I'll pull up the freaking HUD, the settlement statement. Do you guys want to learn from people that actually have HUDs, active HUDs? Okay, so, well, we don't really call them HUDs too often anymore. We call them settlement statements, but here you guys go. This is a deal I just closed at 2:57 p.m. It's a sub-2 deal. Okay, and who do you think these people are at the top? These are real estate agents who failed to sell a property.
Damn, I don't know. Are you shaming them right now?
I'm shaming you. Shame. I know.
You're like, do not, hey guys, do not send them you suck emails.
Yeah, don't do it. Please
don't do that. We're trying.
We already closed escrow. I don't care. You guys can send them all the emails. So here's the thing. I'm actually bringing the agent. So what I really wanted to do this deal for is I wanted to bring that agent into my studio. We're going to do a testimonial because what I'm doing is I'm releasing this video to all my students of this agent going, I could not sell this house. She was actually so aggressive. This is what she told the seller. She said, market's hot. Everything's great. We're going to put the house on the market. It's going to freaking sell in 2 minutes. We're going to get 40 offers, blah, blah, blah. The guy moves out of the country. Homeboy packs up his shit, moves across out of the country. He's like committed. She lists the property, and then all of a sudden interest rates go ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. In a 3-month time frame, they were in and out of escrow like 4 or 5 different times. I come along and I go, I can solve every problem you have. Let's solve the problem. And so I meet her at the property a couple days ago before we closed escrow. And I said, would you be willing to sit down with my people and do a whole testimonial so they can take the testimonial? And what would you guys do with a testimonial that an agent says, I didn't know how to do sub-2. Sub-2 solved this problem. What would you guys do with that video if I give that to you? Brian Woods, what would you do with it, dog? Would you actually use this or just watch it? So every time you guys talk to an agent now, you can send out that video to these agents and go, hey, I totally understand maybe your concern, your misunderstanding of sub-2. Here's an agent we just closed a deal with talking about how it solved the problem. Guys, do you think there's going to be some freaking opportunities for not only wholesale deals? Okay, now think about it. What could I do with this deal? Sperber's got some dope data. I'm so sorry for the tangent.
This is actually a perfect tangent. I mean, that's what you do with data. You hear the data and then you create the strategy to go make money.
There you go. Ryan Hayes says, I used one of your videos today for an agent. I had somebody DM me today and they go, thank you for making that YouTube video of the seller you walked through with on that 43 unit deal in San Angelo, because I'm talking to a multifamily seller. The seller says, I've never heard of seller finance before. I literally took your YouTube video, sent it over to him, and he goes, okay, let's get on a phone call. Other people are doing this? Great, right? People will follow that trend. So here's something you guys have to understand. If you get a deal, I'm holding that in my portfolio because I'm in buy and hold mode for me. If I can get into a deal for almost no money out of pocket, that's my current strategy because I'm in a different phase of my life than a lot of you people. If you're brand new and you've never done a deal, should you be buying and holding right now, guys? Give me a yes or a no.
Hey, I just want to shout somebody out. Hold on, where'd he go? Hold on. Oh, you moved it.
Who?
Hold on, go back up. I don't know where it went.
My chats and my
Zooms
gosh,
are always, it literally just blew by. Oh, right there. Jordan said, I finally got an offer on a flip I did with Green Elephant. So we had one of your students, one of my students, come up and basically said, hey, I got this house in Gilbert, Arizona.
And you guys flipped it for him.
Yeah, he donated the house. We did the rehab and put up the rehab budget, and then
you guys are donating. You guys are donating houses.
Well, no. It's his house. He's getting his profit, but I think that's great. Yeah, we have an offer on it, and I'm really excited for him to close it. So.
Okay, so 2 things I want to do before I pass it back to him. So, do we think that if I'm brand new, even though Pace's current strategy right now is buying and holding, do you think your current strategy has to be buy and hold, or can you wholesale a sub-2 deal? Can you wholesale a seller finance deal? Can you wholesale these things, or even subtail? I've got a subtail deal going in Maricopa right now. Okay, a lot of wholesale, great. Now, the next thing I want to talk about real quick is a tangent, but it's addressing something he brought up a little bit ago. Today on the set of Triple Digit Flip, we're wrapping up season 2. We've already sold, in our show, we flip 10 houses per season. Well, we've already flipped 8, put them on the market, they sold. The last 2 houses are big houses. And so they've had permit delays and all sorts of things. So we were supposed to finish the show in June, didn't finish in June. July, here we are now, August, we're still not done with the houses. We just listed one 10 days ago. Bro, we thought we were going to sell this thing for 1.2. We are listed now at $8.99 and we're getting no showings. Mm-hmm. And so the TV show is like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We need to have like a triumphant success for you guys to finalize the show or finalize this episode. And we go, honestly, A&E, we need to tell people the truth.
Yeah.
Things are changing right now. Things are changing. And so our episode wrap up today for 4 hours was telling people the truth and saying, sometimes you get kicked in the nuts. And that's what's happening right now in our market is people are listing properties and we had to make a determination. Should we lower the price or should we pull it off the market? Okay. And Sperber told you the analytics on that. It's crazy what's happening right now. Okay. It's just good data for you guys to understand. How does this help you as a wholesaler? How does this help you as a fix and flipper? And how does this help you as a buy and holder? The data is critical for you to be able to make proper offers and protect yourself when you guys are going out and making offers. Okay, guys? So keep going. I'm sorry I deviated.
Well, one of the things that we're looking at is just how many houses are selling. But like a lot of these iBuyers, a lot of their houses that they're now relisting on the market is at a price lower than their original purchase price. So think about that. They raised institutional money. They went and bought a house from your grandma, paid top dollar cash for it, and now they listed it for 30 grand less. 5 months later, 4 months later, 2 months later. It's crazy what's happening out there. Just a couple things. It's, in the end result of all of this is it's still wonky out there. Everything on my screen that I'm looking at right now is red. All my indicators, everything is red, right? And the one that's green is sales price per square foot. It's gone up. So there's this lag happening with like the world has fallen off a cliff a little bit. Everybody's waking up from this. It's not like 2008. 2008 took a long time for sellers to get on board with the fact that their house is not worth what it used to be. We are now conditioned. The reaction was so fast in June and July that the pullback, everybody felt it. And so what's happening is, unfortunately, we still are a little lagging as far as price per square foot. Price per square foot here in Arizona actually went up by $3 a square foot.
Wow.
So, I mean, like there's some still wonky things that are happening. Average price went up by $4,000 month over month. So the average price here in Arizona is $544,908. That's the medium home sales price of an average house here in Arizona. Like I said last time, the middle class is getting completely eradicated right now. People cannot afford to buy a house. Thankfully, interest rates have gone down. Now, I took this screenshot because I wanted to share this with you guys. So I was doing some mortgage rate projections and just kind of
send that to me. Or you want me to pop it on the screen? Airdrop it to me, dog. Come on, we got the technology exists, guys.
All right, bam. There you go. Throw that bad boy up there. So what you're going to see is, so this is Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, MBA, National Association of Realtors. They're all projecting what they think interest rates are going to be in the future. Mortgage interest rates. Okay. And you can kind of see the averages over to the right-hand side. And what that's telling us is that it's stabilizing. And this isn't a good thing for the middle class. This is a good thing for us rehabbers and fix and flippers that are like desperately trying to get our properties under contract and get them sold. Is interest rates came down under 6 and they're going to stabilize out in the mid to low 5s, according to all of these organizations. What actually happens? Who knows? But this is what people are projecting. So it's good for us to kind of understand, like, okay, it's not looking like it's going to significantly get worse right at this moment, which would be a good thing. Right?
Yeah, for now. It's a great thing. And I have a bunch of buddies that are loan officers. I used to be a loan officer for people that don't know that. And what loan companies do, mortgage companies do, is they anticipate that the Fed is going to raise their rates. And so the mortgage lenders will actually raise their rates faster than the Fed will. And then when the Fed doesn't raise it as much as they think, they actually backpedal a little bit. So that's what's going on right now, is that the mortgage lenders are coming back and backpedaling a little bit and going, oh, wow, it wasn't as bad as we thought. And so it's compressing back to closer to 5%, which is actually really freaking good. Yes, that's nationwide, guys. They don't do interest rates by state. They do interest rates by the nation. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are asking, where do I get this data? From a bunch of different sources. I use Housing Alerts. I use Cromford Report.
Cromford Report is a really, really specialized one. It costs a good amount of money.
Well, you got to be a licensed real estate agent here in Arizona to get access to it. And then you got to pay some extra fees. But, you know, my whole thing is like, I don't want to sit around all day and look at data, but I do think that it gives you a gut feeling of like where things are heading and how to make some good decisions around it. And really, you're getting this from guys that really know the real estate business. So we're just in it every single day. We're feeling the market slowing down, and then we're conveying it to you guys. So I think the big takeaways on this are, if things stabilize as far as interest rates, we're going to see a little bit of the price, the house prices still going up, but it's about at the top. It's going to plateau, and then it's going to start coming down over the next year. So will it fall off a cliff? That really depends on a couple of different things. What Congress does, who gets elected, right? That's going to play a big part in how the future looks and feels financially, tax-wise, all that other stuff. And so whether the Fed can get the inflation under control, if they can't, and they raise it another 50 or 75 basis points next time, and then they do it another 50 or 75 basis points, all the lending, all the borrowing, everything's just getting significantly more expensive. So, you know, they're doing some short-term make you feel good maneuvers, like releasing all the oil in our national oil reserves to make your gas go down. That's going to last through November elections. After that, they're going to let it go back up, right? Because their motivation is whatever happened, and now there's no more oil to release. So they either have to turn back on the power of American energy, or your gas is going to go back up eventually. So we shall see.
You guys want to get into some Q&A for a little bit, and before I lose Cody in 20 minutes? What do you guys think? You guys want to do some Q&A?
Somebody asked a great question. Why? This is so good. I love this. If you guys are real estate guys, why are you pushing Tony Robbins? I'm going to tell you the number one reason I'm pushing Tony Robbins is
interesting.
The number one key to my success. This is it. My mindset, I was a bookkeeper. My dad told me a million times, we can't afford it. What am I made of money? Money doesn't grow on trees around here. What do you think, that you're entitled? Like I'm just going to give you something? Like, my relationship with money was so broken and bad before I got into real estate. In my first year, I didn't do a deal for 9 months, quit the business, another 4 months as a bookkeeper, finally did my first deal. That's like 13, 14 months of talking a big game, dreaming big, and not doing shit. And the reality is I couldn't win in this business because my mindset was broken. I was negative. I was cynical. I was a procrastinator. I hesitated. I made excuses. I was a victim. I blamed everybody else around me. The number one key to your success is going to be how you operate up here. What software system, what inputs come in, what outputs go out. This is the real estate that matters.
You know, it's interesting. I tell this story all the time. I love the comments, by the way. Let me touch on the comments. And I want to tell you guys a really quick story. Dude, I've been Juan Gonzalez says, thanks for the transparency, by the way, Juan. He says, I've been battling with my head forever. It's freaking hard. I feel you, Cody. John Reed says, Tony Robbins has over 50 companies worth $7 billion in revenue. Here's the thing. Anybody in here believe in, I hate to get religious on you, but anybody in here, are you guys religious? You believe in Jesus? You guys believe in any sort of religion? Put it in the comments. Okay, but why do you guys believe in Jesus? He's not a real estate guy.
That was good. That was good.
He's not.
That was good.
Right, but he teaches love your fellow man, do good. Is that not something you need as a cornerstone in being a good real estate entrepreneur? Right? Okay, or a lot of people say, I believe in a higher spiritual power. Great. Well, does that help you be successful in all avenues of your life, guys? Whoever you believe in, whether it's Buddha, Jesus, whatever. Here's one of my favorite stories of all time. Robert G. Allen, guy who, he's been teaching creative finance for over 40 years. In the 80s, he wrote a book called Nothing Down. Okay. He writes this book. The LA Times calls him out in the LA Times. They actually put it in the newspaper and they say, Robert Allen's full of crap. Okay. Robert Allen is full of crap. And we call him out to the red carpet. Show us that you can actually buy a house with nothing down. So Robert Allen takes a full page out in the LA Times, spends the money and challenges the LA Times.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. And what
I didn't know the story.
You don't know the story?
No, I didn't
Oh, it's
know
my
the story.
favorite story
This
of
is
all time.
great.
It's so great. So what he does is he's like, I'm going to go crazy. His publicist is like, no, do not. What are you doing? Your book is going so well. Right. So what happens is LA Times says, oh, great, we accept. And here's the terms of our deal. 72 hours. You have 72 hours in a city that we choose. And we're going to give you $100. That's all you have. Food, lodging, that's all you get. And you have to go buy a piece of property with nothing down. All right. Robert Allen flies to LA, to the LA Times headquarters. They link him in with a physical, tangible reporter to be latched at the hip. They jump on an airplane. Robert Allen, this is back in the day when you didn't know, like you're walking in, you could walk right up to the gate. And he finds out he's going to San Francisco, California. And what they did is they put him in downtown San Francisco next to a hot dog stand. And they go, here's $100. Go buy a house with nothing down. It's a true story. Okay. So what does he do with $100? He takes the $100.
Buys a hot dog.
Buys a hot dog. He literally does
has
buy
$98 left.
There were 50-cent hot dogs back then. Perfect. This is the 80s, dog. Come on.
Yeah.
So he gets $99.50 back. He goes into a payphone and he spends nearly $10 in dimes on a payphone calling agents. And then he goes, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time and I've already spent 10% of my money. I better go get a hotel room so I have a place to stay. Oh my gosh, they actually have phones in the hotel room. I should have been using the phone the whole dang time. So he goes to the hotel room, starts calling agents, okay, gets a call back from an agent at 9:30 at night. Reporter sitting there just chilling, reading a magazine, like this guy's an idiot, he's going to fail. Robert Allen just cranking phone calls, doing the thing, gets a call back from an agent. Agent says, hey, Mr. Allen, I got your message. And Robert Allen's message was this. Hi, my name is Robert G. Allen. I'm in town for 2 days, and my goal is to buy a quality piece of property with nothing down. Please call me back if you have a property that fits that criteria. Okay, that's his pitch. He's just calling. Gets an agent, calls him back and goes, hey, Mr. Allen, I've got 2 properties that my seller would be willing to sell or finance to you with nothing down if you would be willing to give him the price. Agent is like all on board for this thing. Gets off the phone. The reporter says, you're so full of crap. Who did you call? What code did you give them? What did you tell them to give you a call back? This is all fake. They go to the house the next day. The reporter is so skeptical, does the whole sniff test and finds out this is a real seller with a real house. And they really get under contract and they walk out of the house and the reporter says, dude, you freaking did it. You freaking did it, man. And you still have like, $80 left because they went to a $17 hotel. He had like $70 left. And the reporter says, let's go get an airplane ticket. I'll call LA Times right now. This is going to be the greatest story I've ever told. And what does Robert Allen say? He says, I still have 54 hours. And he goes and buys 5 more properties with nothing down in those hours. Straight gangster.
I love that.
This is the beginning of the story. Okay. I'm sorry that this is taking a minute. Robert Allen. He comes home and the LA Times puts a freaking article out, front page. It says, real estate investor challenges the Times and wins. Go Google it right now. Type in Robert G. Allen, LA Times. You'll find the freaking article. You'll see this goofy dude in a suit. Robert G. Allen beat the LA Times. Okay. Nothing down. 7 properties with less than $100 in 72 hours. He beats them. This dude blows up. He's traveling the world with Tony Robbins now. Now he's traveling the world with Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is like, you have something special. You have the ability to show people how to take action. So he goes on this tour and then the New York Times writes an article saying, of course, Robert G. Allen can do it, but he can't teach anybody else to do it. So he goes
wrong dude to challenge.
Wrong dude to call out, dude. Wrong dude to call out. So here's what happens. Robert G. Allen goes to St. Louis, one of the most, if you live in St. Louis, I'm so sorry. You and Joe McCall can have St. Louis. One of the most ghetto parts of St. Louis. He goes, this is what Robert G. Allen does. He goes and hires a reporter to follow him for 30 days. And he has a goal. Pay attention to this. He has a goal to pull 5 random people out of the unemployment line and say, I'm going to put $5,000 in their pocket in less than 30 days by teaching them how to do real estate. I am going to show 5 people how to do this. Okay. Does it, writes a book. It's called The Challenge. Go read the book. It's called The Challenge. It's most of the shit that I do where I go out and I do crazy stuff where I'm going on a park bench. I get a deal in less than 12 hours with no money out of my pocket. It was inspired by Robert G. Allen. This guy's like a hero of mine. A year and a half ago, I get a call from a guy named Tim Mai. You probably know Tim Mai. Mm-hmm. Tim says, Pace, I want you to speak at this Hero Summit. And I go, Tim, I can't. I'm starting my television show. It's season 1, first day of school, basically. You guys remember what it's like to have your brand new backpack and your fresh kicks and you're going to school and you can't wait to show your homies your best Massimo shirt or your best Ruka shorts. Do you guys remember that? You guys remember how you felt about that? That's how I felt about starting a television show. I was that giddy about starting a television.
Somebody said Janko jeans.
Janko. Bro, I guarantee you. Did you have Jankos?
Oh, I had Jankos. They flared out.
Jankos, dude. Okay, so you guys are so excited to go to school. And Tim Mai calls me, asks me to speak. And I go, no, I can't. And he goes, well, I'm going to send you the link to the webpage just in case something changes. I'm like, bro, Disney owns A&E. Disney's not changing their schedule. It's happening. We're not changing. I don't care. Well, dude, I open up this link. I'm on a flight, coming home. I open up the link and who's speaking at this event? Who is speaking at this event? Robert G. Allen. Speaking at this event.
You're like, I got to figure this out.
I called Jamil and I go, dude, we're calling in sick to A&E. And I called in sick to A&E and I bought myself 4 days so I could go down to Florida, the Keys, and go spend a day with my hero.
I love that.
Okay. That's how much it means to me to be in proximity of my heroes. So I just know that everything that I lived for and learned in my early teens and my 20s, I learned from my parents. And then during my early 30s, I had to try and forget it all. And I'm working on forgetting it all. Does anybody else feel that same way? You guys ever feel that way where I'm like, I literally learned so many great things from my parents, but I learned some of the worst possible things from my parents as well. Guys, that's mindset. Okay, that's mindset. So here's what happens. I fly into Key West. It's hard to get to Key West, by the way. Fly into Key West. We drive over to the Waldorf Astoria right there on the beach. I run to the event and I'm like, where's Robert Allen? Oh my gosh, where's Robert Allen? He's supposed to be speaking in 15 minutes. So I go back out in the hall and I can tell, guys, this is a hero of mine. So I see the back of Robert G. Allen. I go, that's Robert G. Allen. And I walk up to him and I tap him on the shoulder and I put my hand out and he turns around and puts his hands out and I go, Mr. Allen. And he says, Mr. Morby. And I'm like, Robert Allen knows who the hell I am? He knows who I am? Dude, I could cry. This means so much. You guys don't know how much this meant to me because this guy showed me the way. It was interesting because here's what ends up happening. Robert Allen said, I go, wow, you know me. And he goes, do I know you? Your community is infamous. Everybody knows what you're doing with your community. It's something that I should have done. And I go, wow, dude, oh my gosh, this is crazy. We get into a conversation. He tells Tim Mai, listen to this. This is the punchline of the story. Tim Mai goes, hey, Mr. Allen, you're up in 5 minutes. And Robert Allen goes, I need 30 minutes with Pace. He pushes off his stage appearance, forces Tim Mai to go and buy himself 30 minutes of time to come and talk to me. And you know what he says to me? He says, Pace, in 29 years of teaching real estate strategies and tactics, I can tell you the one thing that's kept everybody from being unsuccessful, 99% of people that have been unsuccessful, I can give them every strategy in the book, everything in the book. The number one thing they need He says there's two things they need. Number one is their mindset, and number two is a community. Those are the two things I did not work on. And he said, I was traveling around the world with Tony Robbins. And while these people, I was watching Tony Robbins change people's lives. People were creating actual impact in other, I traveled the world with Tony Robbins for 6 years. And he says, I watched my success rate dwindle and dwindle and dwindle because all I did was teach real estate strategies. Meanwhile, this guy was fixing the actual problem. He was changing people's mindset and building community. So when people say, why are you pushing Tony Robbins? Do you now know why I push Tony freaking Robbins? There you go. If you guys think this is all strategies and tactics, it is part of the equation, but the majority of the equation is community and mindset.
It's the hardest part.
It is the hardest part.
Hardest part. And dude, I love that story, dude. That's rad.
Every time I see you now, I'm gonna go
pace freaking Morby.
Mr. Morby.
Mr. Morbius. Has anybody called you Morbius yet? I think that's
no, because that's a bad movie. I think
it is.
I don't know. It didn't get great reviews.
I don't know. Listen, you line up 100 wannabe real estate investors. They're 20 years old. They're dreaming big. They got big vision. You follow them around for 60 years. You catch back up to them when they're 80. Out of those 100, how many are successful?
Out of 100?
Yeah.
Less than 10.
3. 2. Why? Mindset and community. That's it. You plug them into those two things, that success rate flies through the roof. And Robert Allen used to stand up on Tony Robbins' stage. There'd be 500 people in front of him, and he'd say, listen, I'm just going to shoot you guys straight. 492 of you, maybe 494 of you are never going to do a single real estate deal. So welcome to my seminar. Enjoy the show. Go home and go back to whatever you were going to do before this. Wow. And he would just tell them right from the moment he opened the show, you're not going to be successful. It's just the numbers. And that's because most people don't have the consistency to go through the hurdles and the challenge and all that. And I'm not talking about consistency in how long you work. There's a lot of you that are very hard workers. My dad was a hard worker.
I was a hard worker.
Hard worker, with their hands, smart, hard workers. But they're not consistent with the rest of their lives. They're not consistent with matching up their words and their actions. They're not consistent with their thoughts. They're not consistent with their habits. They're not consistent with their relationships. They're not consistent with their health. Like they lack consistency, and it shows. And that's why that's why we pay to be in masterminds, because what we're doing is we're eliminating all the inconsistent people and putting ourselves in a group of very consistent people that are high achievers, high performers that have already spent the energy to get this right. And when you're around a bunch of people with positive mindsets and none of them are negative and none of them are jealous and they're all celebrating your success and they're pushing you up and they're talking a big game and they're masterminding and they're planning and they're locking arms together. Look, I'm not here because I'm great. I'm here because great people locked arms with me. That's it. That's the whole name of the game. And so when you are able to, get into Project Next or get these bonuses or do something cool with Pace and his community, you just freaking do it. $1,000 is nothing. They have a freaking payment plan for $370. You can literally pay $370 today and get $30,000 in bonuses in 2 days. You could game the freaking system, people. Like, this is a no-brainer. ThriveWithBonuses.com. Like, we shouldn't, I'm on the fences. You're no longer on the fence. Get off the damn fence, get in the game, and go to ThriveWithBonuses.com and freaking buy it right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. This is what procrastinators do. I got to check with my wife. I got to ask my best friend what their thoughts are. Like, are you freaking nuts? Like, we're talking about your future. Like, none of those people you would trade places with.
You know, it's interesting. When I first started hanging out with you, it was interesting. A lot of the stuff that happens in proximity and being around other people, like, I'm successful because other people locked arms with me. it was hanging out with you and watching the conversations that were happening with other people. Like I was at breakfast with you and Aaron Wagner and a couple of other people. And they're like, oh yeah, we're going to go build a $5 million restaurant. And then we're going to go do this. And I'm sitting here going, I just bought 2 deals this last week.
You want to get in, but you got to have proximity. You just got to be around those type of people. And I'll tell you what, I moved into a neighborhood. When I first started being successful, I moved into a neighborhood called Vasaro. Sorry if you live in Vasaro, but I moved out of there as fast as I could. I thought it was a nice neighborhood. It was all $800, $900 million homes, which back then in 2011, 2012, 2013, those were nice, really nice, expensive homes. The problem is it wasn't at the high enough level of success. It was just at the, I'm just starting to get money. The problem with I'm just starting to get money is it's like a Real Housewives environment. Everybody's talking about each other. Everybody's judging each other. They're not there yet.
It's like new money.
It's new money where you still have that undertone of like, you feel like that little kid that, maybe you got the nice Janko jeans and you're showing up to the party and you finally are looking fresh, but you still feel like the little kid inside.
Yeah.
That's what was happening in that neighborhood. And just,
look at my wife. She says, are you kidding me? I lived in Vasaro.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, look, we still have friends in Vasaro, but I couldn't wait to get out of there.
He's trying to backpedal, babe.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get out of there because you would go to the parties and they would form these circles. You guys know those circles where everybody talks bad about the person that's not there. And I'm like looking around like, what the hell is the matter with all you people? You're mad because this person is successful or they're doing big things or they're loud on social media or they're doing something cool and big and scary, and you're talking bad about, like, I don't want anything to do with you people. Like, you guys are the crazy ones, not that person. Yeah. I want to follow the person that raises their enthusiasm, raises their intention. A bunch of boring ass adults all sitting around in life, complaining about their wives, complaining about their job, complaining about the traffic, complaining about their messed up food. I don't care about any of that. I don't want any to do with that. Inputs create outputs. And for me, as soon as I was like, I'm done with that, the problem we have is I don't know where to plug into. I'm like a guy with my umbilical cord and I'm running around trying to plug it in somewhere so I can feel part of something. That's what you created at Subto. This is why this community is phenomenal. It's like people are like, that's where I go where it's positive. That's where I go where people are doing big things. That's where I go when we're going to get this right, plus the community, plus the tactical. It's real simple, people. The formula for success is to plug that into the right thing.
You know what's interesting is I go buy my wife a new car a couple of months ago, and I go to the dealership, and it's a nice dealership, right? Like people are spending a lot of money at this.
Are you talking about your Prius?
No, I'm giving that Prius away. Like, think about that. Think about how cool that is. I have the ability to just give a car away all the time.
I love it.
So Don Walker says, can I have your Prius? Yes, as long as you tell me that Ford is better than Dodge for the rest of your life, I'll give you my Prius. So I'm there at the dealership, and there's another guy buying the same vehicle I'm buying for my wife. And I go, oh, great. Nice to meet you, right? Like, I want to go talk to this guy. Obviously, he has a little bit of money. So I go, where do you live? What do you do? And he goes, oh, I'm a lender. We do this, that, and the other. And he goes, I live in the pecan orchards. I live in the pecan orchards. I go, oh, do you know who Gus Brown is? He goes, yeah, Gus Brown. Him and I probably made $7 million together last year by trading loans that didn't work for me. I sent them to him and vice versa. We made so much money off of each other. He's like, I basically live in that community for free. My house is free just because Gus is 2 houses away from me. And I go, do you know my buddy Cody Sperber? And he goes, no, I don't know Cody Sperber. I go, you're about to, because he's moving into the freaking pecan orchards.
Yeah.
You move where the winners are, guys. You move where the freaking winners are. That's it. Dawn says Ford is better than Dodge. She's trying to earn a Prius so hard. Apparently I got to give my Prius to somebody who lives in Vasaro as an apology.
I hope you guys get the point. Like, I'm not putting anybody down. It's just we have to go through this evolution, this mindset evolution, this confidence evolution as you become more successful, because we've been so conditioned to not believe in ourselves, so conditioned. Like, how many times does a parent say no to an infant? Like, maybe 10, 20, 50, 100,000 times, because we never say it once. We go, the little kid starts crawling away and they get close to something scary. We don't just go no. We go, no, 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 no. And so we've been conditioned our whole life. No, 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 no. If you're going towards danger, no, 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 no. If you're doing something big, no, 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 no. Oh, that's crazy. That's stupid. That's whack. And so no wonder we're all jacked up. You got to uncondition all that. That's why I'm working hard to uncondition from what my parents taught me. It's like when you get in rooms of high achievers, you're being reconditioned to think like a high achiever. And I think it's smart because I like to be that guy in the room where I'm so uncomfortable and I don't know what to do with my hands. It's like going to the strip club. You don't know what to do with your hands. You're like, I don't know. I feel super uncomfortable being here because I'm not cool like these people. I'm not doing big things like these people, but you are, and you are in the right room. And that's how you level up, is you get exposed to a higher set of principles. Principles are nothing more than rules, right? Like I needed to be exposed to more creative finance rules to even know that world existed. I didn't until my mentor Lyle told me you could buy something with no money down. I didn't believe him. What, a wraparound mortgage? I'm like, why would anybody ever do that? And then I saw he did 40 of them and I'm like, oh, Roger Bannister ran the 4-minute mile. Now everybody runs a 4-minute mile because it's real. This thing is actually happening behind the scenes. And so, when you get exposed to people playing at a higher level, you're exposed to those new principles. And I just want to leave you with a little encouragement. The second you get into that room, you're going to get excited because you're going to be like, oh, $5 million restaurants. And, oh, you guys are doing big things. I want to be part of that. And then you're going to go to buy your first $100 million apartment building. And the inside little you is going to come back up and it's going to say, you don't know what you're doing. What if they don't take you serious?
Bro, that happened to me, man. And I'm flying out tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. and I had that come up multiple times. I'm like, am I ready for $100 million deal? How stupid is that?
Oh, and what if the economy goes down? Like, am I going to be on the hook? Here's the thing. It's natural for you to get exposed to the next level. Start to elevate your intention and your enthusiasm, but then actually go backwards for a period of time because you're going to have to learn a new set of rules. And that trial and error is no different than you starting to learn to ride the bike. You got to fall a few times. You got to screw stuff up. You're going to feel childlike. And then all of a sudden you're going to springboard up. And here's the good news. Even if you lose it all, even if Pace Morby tomorrow, every bad thing in the world got thrown at him at one time and he said, guys, I'm so sorry. I got to shut down the community. I'm filing bankruptcy. I'm a disaster. 2 years from today, he will be richer, more successful, and more impactful than he is right now because he has the ingredients and he already knows the principles. So you could take it all away. This is why rich people keep getting rich again. So I'm going to leave you with that. Don't be scared to go after things where you're like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to use the Project Next stuff. I'm not going to build a course right now. But I want to learn those skills. The future is all about skills and capabilities. The people that can solve the biggest problems are going to get paid the most money. And whether you're creating a little mini course to create a side hustle income, and trust me, I made $80 million. I went when I was getting out of the Navy and I talked to the history professor at San Diego State and I said, I want to be a professor. I want to teach. How much do you make? And the guy laughed and said, I have 2 jobs, Cody. And I said, I want to be a teacher. I know it's in me, but I don't want to be broke. I made $80 million selling real estate education in a world that is freaking made up. Nobody in our industry was doing what I was doing. There was no online education. There was no wholesalers creating master classes. None of that stuff existed when I started in this business. And I sold 80 million. And I'm not even the biggest. Like Than Merrill sold hundreds of millions of dollars. Like there are people that went, Pace is going to do 50 times more money and impact than I did. And it's just like, I never believed that I could do $80 million. I thought I was going to be a 60K a year history professor.
That's so interesting.
Like, just think about where this can go. You never know. I didn't plan it. It just happened because I took a little baby step in that direction where I was like, I love real estate. I'm passionate about it. It changed my life. I'm going to talk about it. And that was the beginning of making $80 million. And now we're handing you a roadmap where you don't have to figure it all out. It's literally paint by number simple. So,
well, the thing that I love about it is that everything that I do with my community. So it's like, if I'm doing it and I'm side by side with you, it's like, you don't have to sit there and go, wait, I'm getting left behind, right? I don't leave people behind. That's one of the reasons why my community is so strong, is because I go, okay, are we done? Are we ready to move to the next thing? Are we ready to move to the next thing? One person goes, no, I'm not ready. I'm falling behind. And everybody in my community, and there you go, Peggy Stevens says, that's why I love you.
You're like the Marine Corps, bro.
We don't leave people behind.
I love it.
We don't freaking love, and Stephanie Vargas, me too. Love you. Oh, wow. People love me. Thank you. Are you guys trying to get my Prius? I think that's what's really going on here. You guys are trying to get my freaking Prius. That's what's going on. So anyway, thrivewithbonuses.com. I'll let you get out of here. I'll do Q&A. I'll hang out with everybody for a little bit.
Look, I this was just designed to add some value to you guys. Hopefully you got some. And maybe you have the motivation and a little inspiration at the same time. And that's really all you need. Don't overthink this business. Go out there and have fun with it. I can't tell you, and it happens to me all the time, by the way, even right now, like I was reading those stats, we're being super creative on the wholesaling side of things. We're better with our pictures. We're better with our descriptions. We're working on adding in financing pre-built into our wholesale deals. We're offering to pay our buyers' closing costs. Like, we're doing creative things to get the wholesale deals sold. And I think that's just the way this business works. You got to have a really strong bounce back spirit. So as you hear these things, it's not the sky is falling, it's opportunity is coming. Get your skills and capabilities dialed in. Be very nimble. The investors that are really smart with buying the properties right, the right type of financing, the right type of creative finance, they're going to win this game, and the right relationships. And at the end of the day, you're going to get beat up and you're going to be on national TV getting beat up a little bit. But that's a good thing. And I'm proud of you for saying, no, we got to show it.
Yeah.
Because that's what's up. And when I watch shows like that, I'm always like, oh man, projected profit.
Yeah,
like, who cares?
Yeah.
But the fact that you're like, no, out of 12 of my houses, I lost money on one of them, and it's just the name of the game. And I think that shows that you're a real investor out there doing real deals. So
thank you.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
You guys, give Sperber some freaking love, guys. I'm going to jump into some Q&A with you guys. Give him some love. By the way, who has watched some of Sperber's commercials over the years? Somebody made a comment about some pancake thing. What's that all about?
Oh, dude, I'm giving that away. Can you pull up that username and login that I gave you?
This?
No. I gave you a username and login.
Yeah.
One of the bonuses that we're giving you is, I don't know if the pancake thing's in there, but yeah, look.
Tell me about what's the pancake thing?
Well, when my first course I created, big course, my first full course, was called Fast Track Profit System. And I created these videos, and I don't know if the videos are on there anymore. Scroll down to see if click on Fast Track. I might have replaced them because they were so old. Let's go to module 2, marketing. By the way, you guys get all of these courses when you go to Thrive with Bonuses. Hold on. Marketing. Oh, I think I replaced them all. Oh, these are all the new ones. Hold on. Scroll up. Click on SEO right there. So I scroll down. Can you hit play and will it play the audio?
No.
It doesn't?
I can play the audio.
Okay. Yeah. So here, just hit play. So they can see the screen, right?
Oh my gosh, dude.
I'm telling you, D, my granny makes the best pancakes in the entire planet. We got time. Come on, Granny! Granny!
D, come on in, sweetie. So good to see you. I'm doing great.
It's nice to see you too, Granny. Hey, Granny, why don't you whip us up some of them pancakes?
It's always about my pancakes, because
you never saw this?
Me. Granny, I need some pancakes. Granny, I had a long day. How about some pancakes?
I ate pancakes
Granny,
for 15 minutes straight or 20 minutes straight.
Deal.
On this
Let's
thing?
celebrate,
Yeah,
and you
forward.
make me some of your pancakes.
Fast forward just a little bit.
Found organically through search engine optimization is that those results are more trusted. Says that
Watch us.
What SEO is first? SEO stands on the first link. So
Oh my gosh,
53% of
hit
people right
pause.
off the bat.
Hit pause. So this is how I taught education. I got bored one day and I'm like, you know what? We're going to write a movie script. We're going to do crazy fun stuff. This is long before Jamil was a space cadet or whatever. This is like 2009 or 2010 when I first did this. So we taught SEO, but through a skit, right? And so the whole time we're teaching SEO, we're doing a pancake eating contest. So how else do you want to? So, but I did a whole entire course like this where we hired script writers, we have a plot line, we have bad guys, good guys, explosions, all of this. And this was one of my best-selling courses. I sold about $4 million worth of this course.
Wow.
I know. You know, but go back real quick. Just show them, go back in to the, go back right there. Like these are all the courses that you have access to when you do thrivewithbonuses.com. It's 30. When I said $30,000 in value, I wasn't kidding.
I've bought
all the events, all the summits.
I've paid for 3 of these.
Oh yeah. I mean, from crypto investing to creative finance to wholesaling to all of it. And you mentioned like explainer videos.
Yeah.
Go to Free House Formula.
That's one of your newer ones.
Yeah, go to, I think it's right there to the right. And then go to over on the left, right there. Hold on. Scroll down. Bonus Lisa Wealth Maximizer explainer videos done for you. Explainer in the up, right above, right there.
Oh yeah, these are great.
Yeah, dude. So these are great for you guys can download these. Scroll down. Yeah, I mean, we have a seller carryback explainer video, a Subto explainer video, and a wraparound.
So these are great videos to send to your sellers, your agents, et cetera, that help explain everything.
Yeah, and so if you scroll down, just pick one of them, any one of them. So you can click wrap. And then play the video. You know, this is a downloadable video that you can send.
% interest rate. I moved into the property. Now, 19 years later, you only owe $75,000, and you decide to sell.
People are asking for the link to get here. Guys, it's thrivewithbonuses.com.
Either you haven't had any offers yet because there are limited buyers in the area, or all the offers you are receiving are way too low because the house is older and needs some work. So you are starting to get frustrated.
That's epic.
That's when clever investors.
Yeah. So this is just an explainer video that you can email over to your seller. If you're trying to pitch them on a wrap, it's kind of hard when you're new, right? Like explaining to somebody on the phone. So I don't even explain it. I just teach my students, just send them this video and then sit on the phone while they watch it. It's like a 4-minute video and then say, hey, you got any questions? Would you like to do a transaction like that? Because we could talk further and I can see if we can't put something together. 99% of the time, that video explains what a wrap is and why a seller would want to do a wrap. And then they're like, yeah, sure, I'd be interested in that. So look, do with it what you want. I'm out of here.
I'm going to do Q&A.
Do some Q&A. Love you guys. Thank you for allowing me to share for a little bit. And hopefully I come back here soon. I love your little studio, by the way.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Now that I have my $10 million
chair. Now I want to eat pancakes while I teach. This is freaking epic. All right, guys, give me a second. I got to adjust the camera and then I'll do Q&A with you guys. We got about 7 or 8 questions. I'll go through all of those. Thanks for being patient. This was epic. Guys, did you guys enjoy that with Cody? He's sitting here putting his pants back on. So while he's putting his pants back on, give him some love.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you, brother. Later. All right. Cody was cramping my style, man. I'm used to the one shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm just used to hanging out by myself. I got to reset up. Come on. All right. That was cool. That was really fun. Let me turn my fan on, by the way. For those of you that know me, you know that I will go long, but tonight I can't. I will not see my wife for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It will be the longest time I haven't seen my wife in almost, I haven't been away from my wife that long, maybe a year. It's been that long. I'm flying to Charlotte tomorrow. Who's in Charlotte that's going to come hang out at our meetup? We're going to do a little meetup there. Anybody? Jeremiah Rosa says, how do you get your audio and video to be so crispy? I will teach you in my social media course that I'm giving you guys away for free. I will teach you that. I will walk you through all of it. Robin Hurt says I would, but I'm not. Charlotte. So, guys, Josephine Yee says, let me know when you're in somewhere in California. We go to California all the time. We end up doing a lot of meetups and all sorts of things. In fact, you guys want to see my speaking thing before I jump into Q&A? I'll give you my speaking schedule, at least that is currently laid out. Let me pull that up for you guys. So if you guys are, last year, I think we went to 40 different states, and Jamil and I just flew around and met everybody, hung out, didn't have anything to sell, just met with you guys. It was great. Okay, cool. Here we go. Visiting Charlotte tomorrow, August 9th through 11th, then I'll be in Miami. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time for a meetup there. I then am going to be at Powerhouse Creator Live. I'm speaking there on August 23rd and 24th, and then I'm back in Hollywood, Florida. So I'm going to be Florida for literally like the next month, it seems like. Then I have a mastermind I'm a part of in Atlanta, but I love Atlanta so much that I always do a meetup in Atlanta when we have the time. So we'll end up doing a meetup in Atlanta. I'm speaking at Traffic and Conversions in September in San Diego. Then I will be speaking at Bigger Pockets in San Diego. Then I will be moving to Washington for 4 weeks in all of October. I will be doing that challenge where I'm helping Robin Hurt build her business. And then I have a multifamily speaking engagement in Orlando. Gosh, dang, I'm like in Florida every day. What the heck? A lot of Florida stuff. Yeah, you got, Josephine says, can I come to San Diego? Yeah, I won't be there for a couple of months, but yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Michael Bettoni, this is the last time I'm going to answer questions about the Thrive thing. I really want to get to Q&A, but he says, can you answer again real quick, what comes with Thrive? First off, if you're not already sold on it, like it probably is not a good fit for you, to be honest. Like if you got to be pushed that hard, that's not really my vibe. It's not my style. I feel like anything that I ever create, Rose, can you tell me about the Subto Mastermind? It's sold out. Like I'm not doing another Subto Mastermind for a year. Mastermind sold out for a year. You can't get in. It's not for sale. It's impossible to get in. Okay. So if you last time I'll answer this. The Time to Thrive Challenge, you'll end up getting 2 of my courses, and then also one-on-one time with me for when I rebuild Subto 2.0. I'll walk you guys through the psychology of why I do what I do. I'll show you guys how I'm building my community, my next couple of steps for where my community is going. I'll do live stuff with you guys for those types of things. And then also my Gator training, I'm going to start selling Gator training. My team is, at least. My team's going to sell Gator training for $10K starting in November. And so for people that are in Time to Thrive, you'll gain access to the live trainings for that. That's all live training with me. How can we get into the Subto Mastermind next time it opens? It's not going to open. I'm done doing the Subto Mastermind. So unfortunately it's done. No, it does not include my Subto 2.0 training. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. I haven't built it yet. And then you get all of Cody's courses. You get live training with us while we're going and building all this kind of stuff. So hopefully that helps you guys out. Will you guys help me out? I know there's a lot of people that have the link. Can you guys put the link in the side chat for everybody so that I don't have to do it myself? I want to get into questions if you guys don't mind. Thank you so much. Abel, freaking patient as heck, man. I love it. What's up, Abel? Abel, how you doing?
Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right. Been doing great, Pace. Thanks for taking the time. Yes, I've been patient with some just amazing information.
Cool.
I wanted to just ask a couple of things. I'm not on the fence now. I just heard the price for the first time. I'm going to sign up immediately as soon as I get done with this Zoom call. So Tony Robbins was the reason how I actually found the community about a year ago. Almost as of today, I almost passed away from COVID Delta. And if it wasn't through my training from Tony Robbins and the mindset and knowing your why and just being severely committed to my communities and my environments, then I wouldn't be here today. I found the fight. I found the will to live. for my kids, for my family. And I just I wasn't done living. Long story short, I'm almost to about 100%. I found you guys about 3 weeks ago and got in right before the elephant challenge. So needless to say, it got a little overwhelming because I didn't know what direction to take in regards to, okay, should I do my training or go ahead first with the privy and getting into it is thoroughly exciting, etc. Long story short, this challenge came out, or this opportunity with the Thrive with bonuses, etc. I wanted to ask your permission. Signing up with this, can I document my story? One thing that I'm seeing right now and today is that this community is just amazing. I have no words for it. But having the ability to have some of the training from Tony, and then of course having the community behind it, it's a win-win. There's no way I'm not going to succeed with this. So I want to be able to help so many people along my journey. I'm 3 weeks in to the Subto. I've gotten a lot of information. I'm ready to take my next steps. But I'll tell you, one of the main reasons why I wanted to come into this was exactly what you talked about earlier, was the creative financing and providing a solution to those that are actually in trouble now. The market is in economic turmoil. We're going into unforeseen situations as a country, nationwide, worldwide, that we've just theoretically never been in. And just the last couple of days, I've just mentioned the conversation about creative financing, or just the topic of Subto. A lot of the older generations, respectfully, have no idea about it. But when I mentioned the basic concepts of it, from what little I do know, they were all in. They were like, yes, absolutely, let's talk. And at that point, I'm like, oh crap, okay, now I really got to do something. But the fact of the matter is that I want to be able to share my story too as well, and show others that there's more than one way to make a living. There's more than one way to, get out of the situation that we're in, and we've got to evolve. So I wanted to ask you about helping scaling this process, because there's only one Pace Morby. But one thing that I don't know if you realize, I know you know this, but your community leaders are amazing, and your community leaders are literally they are a clone of you. And that's when you will maximize your ability to scale and reach the levels that you're trying to, because you got to clone yourself.
Well, Abel, you've been with me 3 weeks, right? So here's the thing that's different about what I do. You've been with me 3 weeks, and you can tell a difference between what I do and anything you've ever paid for, right?
Yes, sir.
Does anybody else feel the same thing? If you've ever paid anything for what I do, you have lifelong access to me. Like my Subto community and what I put into everything that my name is on is so methodically laid out. So when I started Subto, I partnered with somebody to help me build that, because I wanted something bigger than just a mentorship. And a lot of you guys don't know this, but I really don't make much money from the mentorship on purpose. I have a partnership with somebody else that makes a lot of that money. For me, I wanted it to always be a community. And that the people that I partnered with thought I was crazy. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, this is for profit. And I said, it is for profit. The profit I'm going to make is all going to be by doing deals with my students. And I'm going to teach them at such a high level. And so for the first 6-7 months of Subto, I went live on Zoom with my students for an average of 5 hours every day. And I memorized people's names. I memorized their spouses. I got to know people. I traveled around the country, shook their hands, met with them, and I found the people that were supposed to be leaders. They just didn't know it yet. Any of my leaders in here that found out they were leaders by me picking you out of the crowd and showing you guys that you were meant for way more than just being a student? Medium Wave Dave, there you go, right? You're one of them. Effie, you're another one of them, right? And so Abel, you're another one of those people that literally 500 to 1,000 people in just this year will rely on your story to take action in their own story. And I can't do what we're doing. This is not me, this is us. And I think you can feel that spirit. And so our goal inside of my communities is to attract the Abel Gomez's of the world that say, I want to do this, I need a platform. And so my community has always been a platform for leaders to teach other leaders. In fact, what's crazy is I watch a lot of our leaders, Medium Wave Dave and all these people all over. I'm just naming the ones I see. You see them go create 12, 15 leaders in the same community, and it compounds and compounds and compounds. And I had Julie Burkhart said to me today, she said that I felt so loved and adored when I came into your community. It was like unlike anything I've ever seen. People bend over backwards to help you. They will clamor to pick up the phone to help you. And Abel, we need you, bro. We need you to document your journey. I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. I want you to show people the path. I want full transparency. And I'm excited that you want to do that. That's going to be super fun.
The one thing I would ask of you is I haven't asked this out loud, but I would like to have at least a couple people kind of reach out to me and kind of help me transition through this the next step of getting a deal.
What market are you in? Where do you live?
I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh, I just bought a deal in Corpus Christi for $3 million on seller finance, and I'll probably buy another $25 million in real estate there in the next 18 months, all on seller finance. Dan Quijano, one of my biggest leaders, says, Abel, let's chat, bro. I would love to help you. He's an absolute beast. You need to become friends with Dan Quijano.
That would be great, Dan.
Put your information in the side chat. You'll have 200 Subto students text you tonight.
I'll do it right away. And one thing I wanted to offer them back to as well is that I will tell their story. I will give them thanks and praise because I want to be able to spread the word, not only to others, but there's so many people that need this. It's amazing what you're providing. And yes, I'm one of those people that have gone through courses, and for lack of a better word, they didn't have the full transparency and they didn't have that final solution. And, you need both of them. You need to have the right mindset. You need to have a community that's willing to hold you accountable. But I'm that person that's just like you, monkeys, to kind of do. And I need to be able to say, okay, you got to do this next. And I'll go do it 110%. I just need to have a sense of direction. Because I have been, I'm my worst enemy. I've had a lot of information over here and over there. This is the first community that's just been okay, this is what you need to know. And I just need some help clarifying exactly, okay, I see opportunity, it's there. And I just need some clarification of, okay, what should I do next? Because again, just like today, I had conversations just kind of going through a couple of your videos. And opportunity happened, and I didn't have the knowledge base of what I needed to do next. And
that is
I don't
why
want to miss that opportunity.
That is why community will always trump education. And
yes, sir.
The challenge with this, here's what I learned, and I kind of told this story earlier on Wholesale Hotline, was when I was out in the field. I was out in the field a lot building my business. I was driving around in my Prius on Saturdays and Sundays. Like, for me, guys, I don't value my weekends and my nights. I don't value them like a 9-to-5 person does, right? They finish their job, they go home, they can't wait to get home. I'm not like that. My wife and I work together. My kids are around me all the time, even when I'm out in the field. Yesterday, my wife and I filmed 3 YouTube videos at a project that we own, right? My life and my wife and my work life are all integrated. So for me, I would spend my weekends driving people around in my Prius, showing them what the business looked like. Okay. But here's what would happen is the second I left, I would drop them off in a parking lot. Imagine, like, do yourself a favor and depict this in your brain, like picture this in your brain, put yourself in an empty parking lot being dropped off. No other cars are around, and a car leaving you, a Prius, is driving off in the distance. How alone do you feel? Right? Those people went back to doing nothing because I lacked a community. And then here's what happened. Brent Daniels told me, he's like, if you don't create something where people can, like, pay to be a part of it, you're never going to filter the action takers from the non-action takers. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's bull crap. Well, that went on for a long time. It went on for a year. And then he sat me down and he goes, go back through everybody you've done a ride along with, people you spent weekends with. You took them on appointments. You showed them what buying a house looked like. You took them to projects. You showed them what it was like to raise capital. Go to meetings with your attorneys. Go to your office. Whiteboard for hours. Do all the things. Go back to those people and show me how many of those have been actually successful. And I was flabbergasted how, like, almost none of them were successful, because again, it was like dropping them off in a parking lot all by themselves with no resources to grab on. Right. So that was an epiphany I had. And then that next week, this is what happened, Abel. I get a lead. Okay. We had a lead that called us back. There's a guy up in Colorado. And he said, I'm willing to accept your guys' offer, but I want somebody to meet me face to face to sign the paperwork because I'm old school. I want to shake hands with the person that I'm doing paperwork with. And I'm like, all right, I respect that. That's cool. As annoying as that might be with somebody who has the haste of a business owner, like, I want to go, 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 go. I was like, I get it and I respect it. So what ended up happening is I go, that's crazy. I'm just going to send a mobile notary. So I call him up and I go, can I send a mobile notary? And he goes, is that the person doing business with me, or is that the mobile notary? And I was like, dang, you're right. That's not the person. He goes, are you a man or are you not a man? And I don't mean male man. He just means like, are you a person of your word? Right? He's old school, guys. So sorry for the misogyny a little bit, but he says, are you a man or not? And I was like, dang. So that morning, I remember very vividly, I jump in my Prius, the same Prius I'm giving away this week. And I jump in my Prius and it's 2:00 in the morning and I drive 16 hours to Denver, Colorado. Why? Well, because I didn't have a flight that would make it in time. And he says, if I didn't sign with him in the next 24 hours, he was going with somebody else. So the flights and the way it was working is I couldn't get on a flight fast enough to get there. So I jump in my Prius at 2 a.m. and I try and get ahead of father time, right? Jump in my Prius. I'm driving all the way up there and I'm kind of just pissed off at the world in the sense that I'm like, I can't rely on anybody on Bigger Pockets. And I like Bigger Pockets. I literally just submitted my book to Bigger Pockets today. Okay. Guys, this comes into my story. I don't know if anybody even cares about this, but I'll show you my email right here. Here's a deal I closed. Here's right here. Bigger Pockets book. Boom, right here. 6:40 a.m. we submitted my deal or submitted my book to Bigger Pockets. So I respect and I adore Bigger Pockets, but Bigger Pockets is not a community. Bigger Pockets is a forum of people. And when I was at my journey at that point, when I was brand new, Abel, at your point, and I would go in there and ask questions on Bigger Pockets, people made me feel stupid. That's a forum. That's not a community. A community is a group of people that collectively make sure that they are successful, and they turn around repeatedly and find out who is lagging behind, and they hurry, run, grab that person and catch them up to speed. And also a community. This is the other thing that really torques me about people and their mentorships. Is they have mentorships that are 6 months, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 1 year. How long is sub 2? It's lifelong. Till my heart stops beating is how long sub 2 will go. Okay. So I'm driving all the way up to Denver. This guy lives not just in Denver, he lives 2 hours north of Denver. So a flight wouldn't have worked for me. I would have had to jump in, get a rental car, still drive 2 hours. So I was like, screw it. Why don't I just take my Prius? And I'm on there and I'm like, if I could only rely on somebody if I could trust somebody to go meet with this guy, that I could say, that's my partner, somebody I'm in a JV with, I could have saved myself this entire trip. Well, that didn't work. I didn't have that. So on my drive home, I go sign the contract. I meet with the guy. I meet with it. Thank you, sweetheart. Wow. I love you. Thank you, baby. My little 4-year-old just brought me dinner. Thank you, sweetie. So what happens, I'm driving up there. I go sign with the guy. I get the deal under contract. And now it's 16 hours later. So now it's 8 o'clock, roughly 8 o'clock at night, like that night. And I go, I got to get back home. I can't just freaking spend the night here in Denver. So I drive all night long. I don't sleep. And that whole night, Abel, I plan out a 30-year vision of a community that I would need in order for me to reach the heights that I want to be at. And I planned, like, I have to go create 100 leaders. I then have to create another 100 leaders. And those 100 leaders have to help me go create another 100 leaders. And we have to help each other out. And we have to weed out the bad apples. And we will get bad apples. And those things will happen. And I spent a lot of time weeding out bad apples. Bro, I had 16 hours just planning this thing out. Nobody bothering me. No music. No nothing but the sound of the road calming my brain and allowing me to think through this. And when I got home, I planned it all out. I wrote it on a big, long whiteboard, 26 feet long, and every foot was a different phase of where this mentorship is going and where my vision is going. And right now we're only in phase 5 of 26. Think about how early on you are in this vision and how important you are to this. I don't charge you a monthly fee. I don't charge you any of that. Guys, I will die trying to desperately try and get you guys to take action. And Abel, you don't need permission to come in here and help. People need you. There are people right now stacked up going, I needed Abel to join this community. I needed Abel to be here. I needed Abel to go through COVID. And you might ask yourself, why did God, why did the universe, why did these things happen to me? Why did I have to fight through and almost lose my family, or my family lose their dad, their husband, etc.? Bro, it's because it led you here. It's because there's 100 people that don't have a father. They don't have siblings. They don't have those things going on. And they needed an Abel to come into this community that has been vetted and been thought out so that you can deliver your gifts to somebody else. So do you guys think that Abel needs permission to help those people, guys? Give me a yes or a no in the comments. Does that answer your question clearly, Abel?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
And what's interesting is as I drove that, I got chills, bro, because I remember this vividly, the smell of my car, how tired I was and how nauseous I was going through this. But I remember, here's what's so funny about this. I remember the thought coming through my mind. And I said, how am I going to find the leaders that I need to build this community? How am I going to find them? How am I going to find them? Where are these people? Where are these people? And then something came to me and it said, you have to attract them and start small. And they will attract the other ones. And they will attract the other ones. And they will attract the other ones. And so my question of where do I find my leaders? Right now, you are on the screen answering the question that I had 3 years ago driving alone in my Prius with no community whatsoever to help me in my business and help me in my endeavors. The reason this community works is because I need this community as much as you guys need this community. And Abel, absolutely, there are people in here that need you and need your trials, your tribulation, the mindset stuff that you've gone through. They need it. So, bro, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. Do you feel like you're in the right place?
Yes, I know I'm in the right place. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
Amazing.
You will be a legacy. If you're not already, they will know who you are. I give Abel, God my glory, bro. But I look forward to it. I look forward to being a leader. I do. I look forward to telling your story and then mine.
I look forward to telling your story. I told Sam Singh's story yesterday. I spent 9 hours on my Sunday morning telling 12 stories of other leaders in my mentorship that are changing other people's lives that I could not do on my own.
Well, thank you for all your time. Thank you for everything you give. You give relentlessly, and that is a key reason why I'm here. Is you give first. You never ask. You always give. And that's why you will be a great one.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much,
yes,
Abel.
Thank you for the question. Community. Thank you all.
Again, guys, does this community survive without the Abels of the world and without my leaders in here? And how many people in here, by the way, have been benefited by the leaders inside of Subto? How many of you guys have more friends now inside of this community than you have outside of this community? That's impact, right? That's impact. Amazing. Thank you, Abel. I appreciate your patience. And I'm sure people have questions. So if you guys have real estate questions, let's get into them. I freaking love this. Let's hang out. I'm going to go another hour, if that's all right with you guys. Okay. I'm going to go another hour. I do want to spend time with my wife and my kids. I fly out tomorrow at 4 a.m. to spend 2 days with my investors on this big 408 unit multifamily deal. What's up, Stephanie Vargas? It was nice talking to you the other day. Let's get Alex Christian. How you doing?
Good, Pace. How you doing?
What's up, dog?
Good to see you. Yeah, thanks for everything you've done, man. It's just kind of a theme
We're just starting, bro.
I know. You've changed my life for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, that Robert Allen story was pretty crazy. It really hit home. I had a question on 2 deals I got.
Okay.
I want to pick your brain on.
Let's do it.
First one, trying to get the
bro, look at this. My wife brought me a sliced peach.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's an amazing
My
lady.
parents would never bought peaches when I was young. This is crazy. I'm doing rich people stuff, eating peaches and stuff. Wow. So what you got? 2 deals.
Okay. First one, the guy wants 8 million. We underwrote it. It was like.
So immediately when I hear the word 8 million, I already know it's not a single family residence. This has to be a multifamily, right?
This is storage.
Storage. Okay, great. It's a storage deal. You underwrote it in what?
It was like we were doing like 2.9 or 3 million. And he was like, well, Marcus and Millichap's telling me I could do 7.5 or 8.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, I'll put something together, seller finance, put like a 5.5 million in purchase, 10% down, 1% interest. And he was like, no, Alex, if you want it, it's 8 million. And I'm like, I said to him, hey, I'm sorry. And we have a good relationship. He said, hey, if you're ever in Denver, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. But he said, if you want it, it's 8 million. And I'm like, man, there's no way I can see this working out. So I was just curious if you had any thoughts on that deal.
Morby method.
Okay.
Do you know what Morby method is?
Yeah, you taught me that the last storage deal.
Okay. And why isn't this not a Morby method?
Well, how would you structure it?
Marcus and Millichap what would Marcus and Millichap give you as a loan?
I haven't talked to him yet. I was trying to get him onto seller finance 100%, like 90%.
On a big deal like that? Oh, Alex, you've heard me on the phone. How you doing, by the way, dog?
Good.
Okay, so what I would do is I would have that conversation with the seller and say, what if I could come up with that $8 million, right? Same thing I did on the set with the seller with you before. The line is, what if I could come up with that 8 million? Would you be willing to seller carry a portion of that 8 million?
Okay.
If I brought a significant down payment, right? And this is where the Morby method comes in, right? So here's when a seller wants too much money, how do we do it? Okay. How do we get a deal when the seller wants too much money? Well, we get better at negotiating. Okay. But sometimes you're just not going to be able to negotiate, especially with a belligerent guy who owns an $8 million storage unit. That's like, it's $8 million or kiss my butt. Right. So I'm going to take the negotiating thing off the deal, because you have negotiating training. Dan Quijano does nightly dial every night. Caroline does daily dial every morning. You have my sales training, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to assume it's not a negotiating strategy. It's not a good negotiating problem. Okay. The second thing that you do is that you throw in Morby method and you say, what if I can give you that $8 million and I give you a significant chunk of that money up front? Okay. So Morby method, Alex, because you and I haven't been on a Zoom together, unless you've just been chilling with me, but you and I haven't spoken on Zoom. We've spoken on the phone when I called your seller. I think I turned that into a YouTube video, by the way.
You did.
I think my team did.
Our whole office saw it.
Oh yeah, did they like it?
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm a YouTube star now.
Yeah, you are, dog. Okay, so if you've got an $8 million deal, here's always the steps that I do. Okay. I always look at a deal like this and I go to the seller and I say, okay, if you want that $8 million and I'm willing to pay that $8 million, I'll give you a yes, a check mark to that. I like that $8 million. Cool. As long as the terms work for me. I'm not asking you to seller finance 100% of it. But what I'm going to do as Alex Christian, I'm going to go to Marcus and Millichap. All right. That's my commercial lender. I'm going to go to Marcus and Millichap and I'm going to say, hey, Marcus and Millichap, will you underwrite this deal for me and tell me what would you lend to me and how much money would I have to bring to the table? Okay. Marcus, by the way, Marcus and Millichap is perfectly okay with you raising private capital to get these deals done. So what do you think this property is worth?
I mean, we were coming in based off his NOI. We were coming in at like $3 million.
The value of the property is 3 million, and you're still talking to this guy about 8 million?
Well, the last offer I made him was 5.5 seller finance.
Okay, so here's the thing. What are the 3 reasons why a seller won't sell to you on terms? Number 1, I've never found another reason why they won't sell on terms. Number 1, they don't understand the benefits. Okay, you have imperfectly explained the benefits to them. You haven't explained, hey, you can save all these, depreciation recapture, the capital gains, the this, the that. There's benefits of interest, depending on the deal. Your deal wouldn't be interest related because you'd be paying so much money for the deal. You get paid way more money for the deal, no agents, no appraisals, none of that kind of stuff. Like if those benefits don't get him excited, great. Well, he might be the 3rd reason why he won't sell to you on seller finance. But the first reason why they won't sell to you on creative finance, Subto, seller finance is they don't understand the benefits. Okay. And I will tell you, I'd say 70% of the time when I talk to a seller and it came from a student and the student says, Pace, the seller is not interested in Subto. I'm 70% of the time it's because they improperly or imperfectly explain Subto, seller finance, the benefits, etc. And then the seller goes, well, dang, why didn't you just tell me that the first time we talked? Okay. Josephine Yee says, Pace, can you call me? Guys, I don't call people. I don't do one-on-ones with people. I don't have phone calls with people. It's not my vibe. My vibe is very much a community approach. So if you guys want me to call you, text you, that is not my vibe. Okay. If you want to DM me, you want a quick voice memo, I'm down with that. But like a phone call with me lasts an hour. I'm a long-winded kind of person. And so when you say, Pace, call me real quick, I have a real quick question. Has anybody ever been on the phone with me in here and ever taken even Stephanie Vargas, who had a very quick question a couple weeks ago, that ended up being a 30-minute phone call. With Pace, there is no quick question and quick answer. I always go really, really deep, and I want to make sure you understand stuff. So please, guys, I am not a call person unless you are a mastermind student of mine. I will not call you. Love you and appreciate you. Okay. So, Alex, so number 1 is they don't understand the benefits. They don't understand, it wasn't explained to them properly. A story wasn't used. A lot of times I'll have, if you go into the Subto vault where all our trainings are, where you see all my calls I've made to sellers and there's objections like listed out, and you go in there, you'll hear a student go, well, this guy just he's not interested in Subto. And 7 minutes later, I'm locking him up in a contract on Subto because I told him a simple story. Now, I'm assuming it's not number 1. Okay. But number 1, that's the reason why people won't sell to you. It's not because it's illegal or wrong or whatever else. It's because they weren't explained the benefits properly. And that's on us as salespeople or acquisition people to be better at that. Be better storytellers. And that takes time. That's why my mentorship goes on forever, is because you got to learn how to articulate and tell stories. And you know that, and you're working on it, and you're great at it. So let's move on to the second reason. Second reason is because if they are actively selling, which it sounds like this guy, I'm going to guess this guy is not actively selling. You guys probably cold called him. Is that correct?
Yeah, I cold called him, but he's looking to sell his business and he's looking to sell his facility. He's looking to retire.
Okay, cool. So the second reason why people won't sell to you on creative finance is because they need the money right now. That's not this guy. I can tell you this guy does not need the money right now. He's looking to retire. He doesn't need the money right now. A monthly payment would suffice for this guy. Okay, I'm talking somebody that's like, my wife is getting her leg amputated and I have no insurance and I have to cut a check for 70 grand. That kind of, I need the money right now. I've had sellers that go, I can't, I need the money because that's my down payment for my next house. Cool. I'm not going to be able to convince you otherwise, right? I can get really creative where I can say, well, why don't I find a lender that's going to require less of a down payment? So I give you less of a down payment on this house, right? I've done that multiple times. But the second reason why they won't sell to you on seller finance at an appropriate price is because of number two, they need the money right now. And the third reason, okay, the third reason why they won't sell to you on seller finance or creative finance in general is why. Why? What's the third one? There you go. Brian Woods hit it right on the head. They don't have the motivation to sell, or they need a long-term follow-up. Okay, some of the longest people I've ever talked, or some of the best deals I've ever done were the longest follow-ups I did. And then the first phone call, they were belligerent on their phone, on their number. Like, I want $5 million for this multifamily deal. Then a year later, we get it for $3 million. Right? Here's the thing, Alex. If you're young, which you are, right? And I'm young too. So don't take that the wrong way. I consider myself young. I'm nearing 40 and I still consider myself a child, right? In the game of life. So you're young. Your seller can tell you're young. He can tell it by your voice. He can tell it by the words you speak. You can tell. Does anybody know that about, like, when you're talking to somebody 10 years younger than you, can you tell they're younger than you? Your seller can tell that. And when you are going to seller finance somebody, do you think your seller takes into consideration your age, your articulation level, your ability to convey a message, those types of things? Do you think he judges you on that in your first couple of conversations?
100%.
Right. So a long-term follow-up is how you solve that problem.
Okay.
Because you build long-term rapport. Here's a question for you, Alex. And I can tell you right now, Alex, just knowing you, in 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. You're going to be a guy that one of us knuckleheads calls and tries to buy a deal on seller finance. You will be that successful. I know that, right? Success compounds and it compounds, and you'll get to that point. So when you make a decision on something or someone that you're going to seller finance to, don't you think that you're going to judge somebody on their consistency and their follow-up level as somebody that you would want to do business with long-term, and that would be something you determine yes or no?
100%. Yeah.
This is why long-term follow-up with a belligerent seller at a high price is the solution for somebody. I think he's motivated, but I don't think he's motivated in a pain scenario where a lot of our sellers in the single-family home scenario and multifamily space, where they have tenants beating up the properties and all that kind of stuff. You're going to see less of that in the storage unit facilities. But he still has pain. His pain is, I really would like to be done. And as you persist and you persist and you persist and you follow up with them twice a month for the next 24 months, this is a deal you'll get under contract next summer. And it will be one of those stories you tell on a podcast that you go, I was told this guy wanted $8 million, guys. I finally locked him up for $4.75 million, zero down at 0% finance. I had to call the guy 30 times for it. Do you think it was worth it? And everybody in the side comments is going to be like, yes, yes, yes. And then somebody's going to come to you and say, hey, Alex, I've got a seller that wants to sell his property to me for $8 million, but we did our underwriting and it's worth $3 million. What do I do? And what is your answer going to be?
Persistence, consistency.
Persistence and consistency. Show him that you're the guy that he wants to do business with, because a seller in a seller finance situation is no longer the seller. What does he become, Alex?
Ask it one more time. What did you ask?
A seller in a seller finance situation is no longer a seller. He becomes what?
Oh, it becomes the bank.
He becomes the bank. The bank makes pretty stingy, strict guidelines on who they're going to lend money to, don't they?
Sure.
So a guy he just met over the phone in the last couple of weeks or a couple of months is going to be a hard person to seller finance a deal that maybe he's not incredibly motivated to sell.
Sure.
But somebody who shows up and is a customer and checks in on him and, hey, how was that fishing trip, Jim? Hey, man, I know I haven't talked to you in 45 days. You said you were going to go to a wedding. How was that, man? Oh, cool. That's great. Blah, 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 blah. Awesome. Well, I'm just checking in,
Cool.
Want to see if there's any movement on this.
Yep.
And that's how you get a deal done. You know this.
Yeah, and that's how we've gotten this far. I mean, I know pretty much his whole life story up for 2 months. So you're right. Just keep going.
I think what you do is I would pitch Morby method to him.
Okay.
Okay. And here's why Morby, I'm so sorry. Is anybody learning this, by the way? Is anybody learning anything from this? I know I go long and there's people that raised their hand 4 seconds ago. Ingrid Stewart is like way down last. Ingrid, I'm probably not going to get to you tonight. I'm very sorry. I appreciate you. But I want to make sure everybody understands that I'm trying to deliver value at a level that really, Joseph Wynn just raised his hand as if I didn't. Joseph, I'm sorry, bro. I want to make sure when I answer a question, it's answered so incredibly deep. It hits on every single corner of the dark spaces of the room. Kyle just raises his hand. Sam, you guys know I'm not getting to your questions, right? You guys are just teasing me at this point. Okay. So normally I'll go long. Like by the way, guys, Subto students, if you're a Subto student on Sunday, I'll be doing a 6-hour Q&A, 6 a.m. to noon. Just come in, let's hang out. We'll just do it, same thing that we're doing right now. Okay. So, the Morby method, here's what I would do. This is what I love about this strategy. Okay. You are going to fail in the initial attempt on the Morby method, but it will be one of the greatest negotiating pieces that you'll need for this deal. So I would call him and say, hey, you know what? If I could, this is also how you get him to keep going in down the road. You keep coming up with new options and new stuff, and you keep the conversation lively and thriving, new opportunities, new ideas, and you show him how smart you are because you are smart. And you go, hey, if I could come up to that $8 million and I could give you a significant down payment, would you be willing to sell or carry a portion of this purchase? And he's going to say yes, because he knows 8 million is crazy. He knows that. He's not an idiot. You don't own a $3 million storage unit by being an absolute idiot, right? So this is what you do. You go, here's the process. I have a lender, Marcus and Millichap. I'm going to reach out to them and I'm going to have them underwrite it and tell me how much money they would give me. And whatever they give me and whatever they underwrite it as will end up being my down payment to you. Okay. And guess what Marcus and Millichap is going to do? Jamie Litzler, who's my guy at Marcus and Millichap, he's going to say, Alex, are you crazy? This is a $4 million deal. I'll give you $1.5 million. So what do you do with that?
It's your down payment.
No, what you do with what you do with the information. What do you do with the information you just got? You then pass it to the seller and you go, hey, I don't think the 8 million is going to work because Marcus and Millichap, who's a nationwide lender that does $1 trillion in business, just said that your deal is worth this. Are you sure you don't want to go to the $5 million deal where you seller finance the whole thing and we just do the $5 million deal? What you've done, Alex, is you've just shown your seller a third party unrelated to you at all. A third party story says, nope, we're a national company. There's no way we're getting you more than $1.5 million. That is the strongest negotiating you'll ever have. Does that make sense?
Yep. 100%.
Boom. And you are apologetic. And now you have something to talk about. Now you have the next step in the process, right? Yeah. Bring him another solution. And that's what I would do. Call Marcus and Millichap. Do you have their contact? Do you have anybody's contact info over there?
Just brokers. We deal with brokers a lot there.
Those are knuckleheads. I'll give you Jamie Litzler, my lender. And you reach out to him and just say, hey, I just need you guys to underwrite this and tell me what you would give me for this. And he'll give you like a term sheet for it. And that term sheet is your negotiating ammunition.
Okay.
This is why I love the Morby method. I mean, I love the Morby method for so many times, right? Regina says, please describe how a newbie becomes a Subto student. You don't. The Subto thing is done, sold out. You can't get in. I'm very sorry. But I'm happy you're here tonight and hanging out with us, okay? A lot of people ask me that question. I'm very sorry. Not possible. So, Alex, I'm going to put you in the side chat real quick. And I will give you Jamie's info.
Cool.
There you go. I just gave it to you privately. Okay.
Thank you.
Derek Barton, Ingrid Hernandez has done the Morby method. I have done the Morby method, Derek. I saw you in the wholesale hotline asking about it. Very simple. So that strategy, Alex, do you see how that will give you ammunition to go back to him?
Yep.
What I just taught you right there is more value than you could ever like pay for. Right there in one thing is like, wow, how many times as an acquisition guy can you now utilize that against people?
Yep.
And you've got my lender that you text him, he'll text you, he'll call you, he'll love on you because you're in the community, and he'll go, here you go. Here's your term sheet. You take the term sheet from a national lender, big boy. Like most people know Marcus and Millichap because they are brokers.
Yeah.
And they go, Marcus and Millichap said that they'll lend me this much money on the deal because they think it's valued at $3 million. And while I do think they're crazy, I don't know how far I can get unless I can get you to seller finance at the $5 million.
Got it.
Oh.
Well, that answers my second deal then too. So
there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Give Alex some love, guys, because his question just gave you guys a bunch of value. Everybody learned a couple of things there. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate the question.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Paige. Great seeing you.
Great seeing you too. All right. Brian Woods, bro. Brian Woods, you there? There he is.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, just had that mute.
No worries. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Late up here in Washington.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up there soon, man. We're gonna hang out.
I know. I'm super excited about you coming up and doing your deal in Tacoma.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I am, but it's pushed back so many times now. I think the October weather is like pretty good up there, right?
It's not bad. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then I'm all right. So what do you got for me tonight?
Well, actually, I wrote down some notes here because, just listening to Cody and you and all that kind of stuff. Like, and just another shout out to the Subto group. I think it is fantastic. I'm part of the Bigger Pockets and was part of the Bigger Pockets deal before joining Subto and all that. And you make a huge point that mindset without community or resources without community is worthless. It's totally worthless. And I will second your, kind of shot there. Just you put stuff on the BP and people make you feel like an idiot. One, because I think they're posturing. And then two, like they don't have the same resources or know-how that a lot of people in the Subto community do have. And so when you don't know, what you do is you make somebody else feel stupid so that you don't look like a jackass, and so
great point.
That's
great point. And I this is what I said one time to somebody. It was like, you don't like Bigger Pockets? I go, I love Bigger Pockets.
Right. Me too.
I love Bigger Pockets. I'm a pro member. I love it. It's valuable.
Yep.
It's amazing. Here's how I looked at it. If you're cold, okay, if you're cold, you're freezing, you're out in the middle of the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think looking at a photo of a campfire is going to warm you up?
That's great.
Okay, that's how I look at a forum. A forum is like, it's mentally, it's like, yeah, helping me mentally. I'm envisioning what it would feel like to be warm.
Yeah.
Whereas what a community is us all standing around a real campfire, feeling the warmth. And not only that, but somebody else has their arm around you, making sure you're part of the tribe. And that's the difference of a community versus a forum. Both helpful in their own ways, right? I got a picture of a fire. When I'm hanging out in my office, I like to have a fireplace on my TV emulating the sound of crackling fire. There's value there. I love it. It's great. But when I really need help and I don't want somebody to make me feel stupid, I need a community.
Yeah. Well, and that accountability aspect, I think, is huge too. So when you're like on Bigger Pockets, I think there's a lot of people that do real estate and whatnot, but I think when you're active and doing deals with people, and that's what's so different about the Subto community too, is the JV aspect of it is so much more active, where it's really not on the Bigger Pockets. It's like, hey, I've got a deal, let me hand it off to you. But in the Subto community, it's more or less like, hey, here's my experience, or hey, I don't have an experience in this. Let me reach out on the on our forum or whatever, they're on Discord and say, hey, here's a problem I have, and 10 people chime in. It's like, oh, I've done that before. Let me
they'll say, hey, let me call your seller for you.
Sure.
Let me help you with your paperwork. Let me walk you through the thing. Let me whiteboard this. Let me get on a Zoom with you. Let me do this. And you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I never felt.
And that is how you scale, right? That's how you scale. I think there's lots of people that that want to be just like you in a way. And so, you go back to like a gospel mentality. Like that's what the early church did too, is they equipped people to go out and do it. And that's why, Jesus didn't do it alone either. He's like, hey, I'm only one guy. I can only do one thing. That's what you're talking about right now. I can't do one-on-one phone calls with everybody. So why don't I multiply myself, spread that vast knowledge out to a ton of people, and then here we go, right? So I love it. I mean, I'm a believer too and all that good stuff. And so that really speaks to me. My wife and I were having lunch earlier today, which we don't do very often, but we were vision casting about stuff like that too. And that's my whole goal in becoming part of this community, and something I didn't even know that I was super excited about, but to be able to become somebody that's knowledgeable and help other people too, and become a leader within a community. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'm super stoked about it. I'm only like week 1 into this, and I'm, in week 4 going through the Morby method and super stoked about it.
How many of my students, guys, name how many weeks you've been in Subto in the side chat. Give me the weeks. Let's do that. I'm curious. 8 weeks. Sam Sting says, crap, I can't math. A year is 52 weeks, guys. Okay. 30. 8 weeks, 24 weeks, 18 weeks. Since the start, there's, Leo, he's been in 2.5 years. Bash Brothers, 69 weeks. Ingrid, 62 weeks. Gabriel, 70 weeks. Have you guys paid me since you joined? You guys don't even pay me. You pay New Reach, but have you guys paid me? No, you guys stay in here. The way you pay me is hopefully, well, Ingrid and I, she's kind of paying me. We're doing a deal together. And Peggy Stevens, you're right. You do pay me with love. I appreciate that. And you guys, the way you guys do it is, you guys watch each other do deals. It's absolutely amazing. Uriah says, how can I join? Reach out to one of my Subto students and ask them how to join. They'll tell you how to join. Brian, what do you got on your notes, brother?
So the last thing I had there was, just bigger pockets. So you and I were both contractors, and I'm still a contractor. And so that's why I love flips and that kind of thing. I'm going to continue to do that to build capital so that I can put it into some of these Subto deals and finance my own down payments and all that good stuff. But what you'll find is that there's a lot of contractors out there that are good at doing the job, but they suck at teaching. So the contractor just expects you to know. The newbie, they get really frustrated really quick. It's like, you dumbass, you don't know which end of the hammer to hold or whatever, or how to hit, sink the nail in one smack. You're down there, hitting it like a hummingbird, or like a woodpecker, tap, 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 tap. And so they get really angry, frustrated, and leave. And what I've noticed again about the Subto community is that they're very patient that way. They realize that everybody starts at a certain place, and then they're willing to walk through and teach you the steps so that hopefully you can teach other people too. And so that's one thing I really liked. So I know that there's more people that have questions, and so I'll get right to it. I joined a Kitsap Business Forum out here. I'm not in Pierce County, Tacoma area. I'm actually out on the peninsula just a little bit further. So I joined the business forum there, and I'm on their homelessness task force. And so what we're trying to do is partnering with the foster care system there, a company called Olive Crest that gets the government grants. And so what I would love to do, we've got multiple military bases around here. We've got a big sub base. We've got the shipyard. We've got another Joint Lewis McChord down in Tacoma. So what I want to do is take VA loans, people that have a big transition, or every couple of years they get new orders and they got to ship out. Well, a lot of these guys have great loans, on those VA, low interest rate deals. And so what I would love to do is wrap those or do a Subto and partner again with Olive Crest to get kids into these houses. And then I've got voucher systems, because what I didn't know before signing up with this task force is that 50% of kids that age out of the foster care system become homeless in the first year. And so that hit me. I mean, you saw my daughter on here earlier. She's sitting with me, and, that's crazy to think that kids like that
that's super interesting.
Yeah. So I'm trying to put some pieces together, and
you know who's kind of working on that a little bit is Dan Quijano. Have you met Dan Quijano?
I haven't yet. No.
You need to meet Dan Quijano's been with Dan Quijano. How long you been my homie in Subto? How long you been with me, brother? I think he's coming on 2 years. Almost 2 years. Dan Quijano he's a major leader in Subto. Him and I are doing a deal together, and he's working on something similar. He actually set in the side chat as you were talking, he goes, Brian, we need to connect on this.
Sweet.
Even if you guys are crowdsourcing information, you guys are collaborating, maybe you guys are doing some deals together, what have you, but I think that's a great idea. I love it. Anytime somebody calls me and goes, hey, I've got a Subto deal, I go, great, what kind of loan is it? And they go, VA. I go, oh, I want it.
Yeah.
I want the loan.
There's a lot of moving parts with that. And before signing up with your group, I spent a year trying to call all the different people and figure out all the steps and processes and how to wrap loans or do assumptions and those kind of things, or, do basically the Subto process, and nobody knows anything about it. So I'm so excited to be part of the group now and have it all so that I can put those together. Because what I would love to do is turn those people that are moving into investors as well. So there's a payback there, and then also get these kids into those houses. And, there's nothing wrong with government money, because as we've seen, they just keep printing it. So if I can get those vouchers and help those kids as well. We're developing a membership or a mentorship program as well within the business forum and the task force to kind of teach them how to be adults and live on their own and then, do the same thing.
I love it. I love it.
Yep.
You got Don, who I love Don, Dan Quijano. I love Dan. I think you guys should probably collaborate on that and have conversations about what best practices are and help each other out.
Sweet. I met with the title company earlier today and talked with my gal, Lori, who is awesome. And when we're doing flips and stuff like that, she's great because, she's been doing it forever. But one of the objections was the due on sale clause. And so I was talking to her about wraps or Subto on these either VA loans or, just regular loans. And she says that she won't close on it because it's got the due on sale, and she could lose her license apparently.
I mean, you could do. Oh, you're talking about the title company?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you would. There's title companies there that we'll put you in touch with.
Okay.
And or if she said, ever worried about the due on sale clause, you can always do an agreement for sale or a contract for deed, one of the two. And if you don't know, you're kind of newer, so I would make sure that you learn that.
Okay.
In Washington, it would be a contract for deed. So essentially what that is buying a house subject to without transferring the deed and transferring oh, bro, do you know Daniel Morby yet? Bro, you got to know Daniel Morby. He's in your neck of the woods. He's a student that's been with us for 2 years. You got to know Daniel Morby.
How do you spell his last name?
Moery. Isn't it weird that I know all my students?
I don't think that's weird at all.
I mean, my friends think I'm crazy. They think I'm crazy. But that's how you truly help people. Like Daniel's right by you. He's got a deal out on the peninsula that he's been working on right now. I can't remember if it's a foreclosure or what it is, but he's got a deal. And he's going to have to go the contract for deed route. And he's got a title company that's doing it for him. So he's a great connection for you. You want me to give you his phone number?
Yep.
Apparently, all the badasses in Subto are named Daniel.
Or Cody.
Yeah, apparently.
That Cody Davis kid was pretty cool. He's in Renton too, so that's up here in Washington.
Yeah, that was pretty cool last night.
Yeah,
I've never spoken to him before. But that was good last night. I'm going to throw this in a private chat to you just so non-Subto students don't bother Daniel. Not that I have anything against non-Subto students, but I just don't want people texting Daniel and saying, hey, are you a Subto student? Can you help me do this, this, and this? And Daniel will be like, man, why'd you bring my name up on the live? I'm trying to live my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll be a good one for you to connect with. And then the Daniel Quijano will be a really good one to connect with as well.
Sweet. That's it. I'll let you get to another one. Looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah, same here, brother. I look forward to hanging out, going on some double dates. How old's your daughter? 6?
So that one was 10. I've got a 7-year-old boy and a 4-year-old boy.
Oh, amazing, bro. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have meetups and hanging out with the kids. It'll be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm like you in a lot of ways. You know, obviously we're both contractors and stuff like that too, but we both married women that are out of our league.
Oh, good. You can grow a way more manly beard than I can, though. Like, look at that thing, dude. That looks like the Washington forests, bro. Holy crap.
There's a lot of imposters up here too. You'll see that.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see here. I got a couple more, hopefully, in me if we can go fast. Chris, how you doing, bro?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good. I think you're going to be my second to last. I think I'm going to get one more besides you. So thank you for coming in.
All right. I appreciate it, man. And yeah, just want to say thanks for everything you've done, man. My partners and I joined about 75 days ago. Actually, I don't know if you remember me, but I bumped into you came up to you at the Clever Summit asking you about the adoption thing, and just misconstrued what was going on with you and your son. Right. But an update on that, my wife and I actually got selected by birth mother. And so
yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That's
so
a big
excited.
Deal.
Dude, it's a freaking massive deal. 7 years of infertility and just like a lot of struggles, man. And so it's huge blessing, man.
That's tough, man. I don't have 7 years. You are way further down the road of agony and patience than I had to go. We went down 3 years. That's pretty amazing, man. It takes a toll on a married couple to go through that.
Yeah, dude, I try to hold it together for my wife. You know, it's got to be the rock, but you know, it's definitely not easy for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing. And, you know, I know there's a lot of people we only signed up with this adoption agency like 3 months ago and already got selected. And so, you know, if there's anybody I know there's a lot of people that are sitting on the waiting list a lot longer. So if anybody has questions and wants to get connected, like, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you with the agency I'm working with. But, you know, and something from that Clever Summit, it actually all kind of came together. You know, my Make Money Matter is really, I finally understood, like, it's crazy expensive to go through the adoption process, you know, and there's a lot of families that can't afford it. So basically what we want to do is we want to create basically a 501c3 where we're going to take a percentage of our profits to help fund that for people. But there's going to be an educational component around like financial education and real estate investing education, so that they're never going to have to rely on, you know, somebody else helping them out, and they can help themselves out moving forward and help others and give back.
That's amazing. So I love that.
Yeah. And I signed up for the mastermind, so I'll be there in November. I'll probably have more questions about that and how to possibly grow and scale that. We'll
spend a lot of time together. This will
awesome,
be,
man.
It's been really hard for us to like outbeat every mastermind we've done, but this will be our last mastermind. So I'm glad that you got in. Super excited about it. We're pausing the mastermind indefinitely because my goal with the mastermind students is to partner with as many of them as I can on title companies that are leading with value and they're true leaders long-term, and opening title companies takes time. And so I'm further ahead in mastermind students than I am in title companies. And so I didn't want to keep building out the mastermind, which is essentially my filtering mechanism for future partners, and get too far ahead of myself. So we're going to put it on pause for a long time. So I'm glad that you got in the last one for a long time.
Yeah, man, I missed out at first, and then finally got a phone call. Like, I put a post and then got a phone call. There was some spots that opened up, and like, it was like, no question. It was like, I'm definitely going. Not sure if my business partner can, but yeah, I was like, I'm all in. So let's go. So yeah, man, I really appreciate everything you're doing. And, you know, we've been doing deals, wholesaling in San Diego for the last few years and been successful with it. Originally, we had a goal to build up a pretty big war chest before we'd start getting rentals. But with what you're teaching, you know, our goal is to acquire 10 cash flowing assets by the end of the year.
Oh, love it. Okay.
So, I mean,
are you guys targeting a specific city, state, anything like that? Or are you going to try and stay in San Diego?
Oh, hell no, not staying in California. That's for sure.
You're going to go maybe Florida. Florida is a great market.
Yeah. So we actually just opened up 3 new markets this week. So we started texting in Indianapolis. started doing some ads in Florida, and then we also have a lot of data in New Jersey, and so we're gonna go after those. But you know, the challenge that I'm running into on the creative side is title company. It's funny, you were just talking about the title company thing. The title companies, a lot of title companies that we talk to, you know, I'm not finding a lot of people that know what they're talking about when it comes to performance deed or wanting to even like go down that path. And so what would you say is like the best way to overcome that issue with title and escrow companies? Or if I can't overcome that, then and facilitate that process, like what's the best way to overcome that being a sticking point for the seller?
Typically for the sticking point for a seller is I would have to be the one maybe talking to the seller. Do you guys have a specific seller that maybe I could talk to?
Not off the top of my head. I
would challenge you to maybe find somebody, and I would be happy to talk to them on a Tuesday Q&A, or I would be happy to make that call to the seller and overcome that for you guys, record it, give it to your sales team. I've done it before, but you know, you guys would have to dig into the Subto sales vault. That's number one. Number two, I probably spend an average of $7,000 a month getting my attorney on the phone with title companies, closing attorneys, etc. for people that are like, I love this title company. They want to do the deal, but they don't know how to do the paperwork. We can help you out with that. And the other thing too is, Chris, I don't know if you know this, but every Saturday we train nearly 200-300 transaction coordinators nationwide on how to do creative finance transactions. Caleb Christopher is my partner in the title company. And we have a list of California title and escrow businesses that are creative finance. They're set up for creative finance.
Yep.
Okay. And so I would reach out to them and find one that we're already using out of California. And maybe I would enlist Caleb Christopher as your transaction coordinator on one of those deals so he can write the paperwork for you, and let him run quarterback on that so you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been trying to link up with him. I know his schedule's pretty crazy, and it's been super crazy for us. We're, you know, trying to grow really rapidly, and that kind of like the other point. And I had messaged you about this, and I was going to go on the Sunday, I think it was the Sunday service or whatever, talk about it, but I just got caught up with like church and stuff. But you know, I'm trying to like, you know, be there for other people in the community and like answer calls and like, but you know, I'm finding it's like ballooning to a point where it's like, how do I pick and choose like who to help out, you know? Because like there's people that are, you know, that genuinely want to take action, need help, and, you know, need somebody to help them get over the finish line or on whatever it is, you know. But then there's other times where it's like, it's just kind of time vampires, so to speak.
Yeah, here's a great solution for that. What I always tell Sunny C, I don't know, I'm super confused by your question. Sunny C says, who is the guy asking questions now? It's actually the second or third time Sunny C has asked.
Chris, the real deal.
His name is Chris. It's on the screen. He's a handsome guy out of San Diego. I don't know what more information you need besides that. How tall are you, Chris? Do we need to know how tall Chris is?
About 6 foot. I've definitely married out of my league as well, just like you and the last guy, Brian. So we all have that in common.
Chris is 6'7".
Yes.
And he's an ex-NBA player.
Matter of fact, here now you can see me be 6'7".
There you go. He's growing. I don't, Sunny C, I don't know the question. If you could be a little bit more specific, I could help you out. I don't know really what you're trying to get at. So here's the answer to that. A lot of leaders that have been in the community, Chris, I imagine just your experience level, you're going to dominate as a leader in this community for a long, long time. What you need to do is create a filtering mechanism. Okay. So what I would do is I would create a couple of videos that are like Dropbox videos, or if you're going to create a course, go to Teachable or Kajabi or something like that and put these videos on there. And I would create a thing of like, here's my expectations. And what I would do is I would never do a phone call with a newbie. I would do a Zoom with a newbie so that you can record it. And you take that recording and you put it in like a series of like a note, and you go, hey, here's the last 5 one-on-ones that I did with some newbies. If you have a question, comment, concern, or anything outside of that, okay, please let me know. Or what like Carolyn and Myron out of DFW, what they do and a lot of other students do is they'll create homework assignments. So they'll spend 5 minutes with them and they go, hey, go watch these 2 videos. It gives you a homework assignment. The next time you and I have a conversation, it needs to be about a lead that you've generated using one of the homework assignments.
Got it. Okay.
And now you as a leader, one of the most important things as a leader is you're holding them accountable to take action, right? And people always ask, well, Pace, you're such a giver. You're always telling people give and give and give and give. I'm like, yeah, but you got to give people instruction and give people guidelines and give people limitations and give them, you know, things that they can achieve. And that's more important than your time. So what I would do is I would make people earn your time, because here's what's funny, Chris, and you know this already. I'm just saying this to everybody else. People that have to earn your time respect you more and will listen to you more in depth. If you just go, hey, get on the phone call with me anytime, 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 that time is not only wasted, but it also is, they're not going to respect you as much, so they won't pay attention to you as much. So you have to be strategic in the way that you help people, unfortunately, by saying, I'm going to give you guidelines, expectations, and homework. So next time we speak, I know why you're calling. It's because you've generated a lead and you have a problem on it.
Yeah, that's gold. Yeah, it's funny because I read an article years ago, I think it was Yahoo, about like texting. And it was like, you know, if you want people to basically think you're always around, respond right away. But if you just like condition yourself to give it 10 minutes, then they won't have that expectation that you're always available, and it'll make, you know, whether you're busy or not, it'll at least create that, you know, impression that like you got a lot of things going on. So it's interesting you say that.
Yeah, that's what you do. I would call Carolyn and Myron out of DFW and say, hey, what does your homework look like? I know also in SoCal, Jennifer Shelton, who's been a leader with us for a couple of years, she also gives people very specific homework as well.
Nice. All right. Awesome, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm super stoked to come to the mastermind. I think I'm going to come to the other events that you're at in San Diego as well.
Come hang out.
Yeah, for sure. And last thing, I used to work at Fortune Builders, and I'll tell you, man, the equivalent of Fortune Builders, you know, I worked there for a year. My business partner was there for like 10 years. So we got a lot of experience, but they're basically like a rental with like a 1% cash on cash return, and yours is like infinite return. So all day, every day, not even a question whether it was worth the money. So I appreciate everything you do, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. And I look forward to doing deals with you. And I look forward to seeing you as a leader. And here's what's going to happen is people will DM me and be like, yo, Chris closes your deals, has helped me do this, this, and this. You're going to, bro, thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I respect you for coming in here. And even a guy that's doing a lot of deals and has been successful in the business comes in and goes, not only do I have a couple of things to learn or improve on, but I have people that I need to serve as well. And so I appreciate you joining the community and standing up as a 6'7" guy that's going to dominate as a leader.
Goliath. By the way, that was me that threw up that $220,000 check on the wholesale hotline that one time.
Amazing, dude. Really?
Yeah, dude. I had a wholesale deal here in San Diego, freaking $220K. It's money, single family.
Freaking unbelievable. Legit. Thank you.
It changed our life for sure. So, and everything you're doing.
$220,000. That's epic. That would change my life today. That would be freaking, I don't know what I would do with it, but I would do something cool with it. That's like winning a mini lottery, dude. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you, man. Guys, if you're a Subto student and you are reaching out to people that are leaders, people that are doing deals, please make sure that you are respectful of their time and you're going to them and saying, what do you want me to bring to you? What are you looking for? I'll bring something to you. I'll bring you a problem that we can solve together. Okay. Kirsten Durward says, I came on this call from an email link about coaching and the topic was not clear. I stayed out of curiosity and I'm not even interested in the topic of real estate sales and I'm learning from these strategies. So thanks so much for this information. Thank you, Kirsten. That was nice of you. That was really nice of you. Thank you. She sent that in a private message. So I thought, she sent it to me in private. I thought I'd share it to you in public. All right, cool. Jaden's REI, you are the last question of the night. I've got 4 minutes. My wife and I, actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer your question in 2 minutes, and I'm going to talk to Stephanie Vargas.
All right. Well, I had about 6 minutes of video I could share if you wanted to show everybody your 10X stages appearance.
Thank you for that, brother. Were you in the audience?
I was. That's the first time I got to see you. I hadn't heard of you until I was at the just ProsCon.
That was a pretty cool event. That was
very cool.
Super epic. I'm flying out to Miami to hang out with Grant for the next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or no, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Just him and 10 other people. A really tight knit group. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's very awesome. Yeah, I actually joined his 10X real estate club. I'm still paying for that, or else I'd have already joined Subto.
Yep. I got it. Don't worry about it. What kind of questions you got for me, brother?
Well, I guess I've been excited to learn about your deals that you're doing with multifamily, where you're doing creative financing. It's something that I've been real estate wise. Multifamily was kind of more what I tried shifted to.
Okay.
And I've found a few deals that I have watched over the last few months that have kind of gone on and then back off the market. And so I've now got a few that I feel like are good now off market leads. So I guess I'm kind of wondering who'd be the most ideal person to bring those to that could help me structure a multifamily creative finance deal.
What market? Washington?
No, actually for tenant wise, I'm going to probably try to avoid being in Washington more. The Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma City area is where I'm actually originally from. So that's where I got family and people that I know can do kind of the rehab of units that need.
Who wants to help Jaden's? He's got a couple of leads. There you go. Dominic.
Okay.
Dom is the man. So he says, contact me, 303-507-0692. There you go.
Okay, will do.
There's what community does for you, brother. That's that. No offense to Grant or anything else, but like that's the number one thing that most coaches are missing is that people are connected all over the country that will actually help you do the thing and move forward.
Right.
So you
I mean, I think he's got some cool stuff, but definitely,
awesome.
Definitely it's neat to find more and more people because no one person has it all.
There you go. That is very true. And Grant, I've done a couple of Grant stuff and he's epic. Interesting. Matt Odell in Utah. Love Matt. He says, if it's 65 plus units, I have a buyer in Tulsa if you're looking to wholesale it.
I'm definitely looking to be able to purchase them, but I don't exactly have a whole lot of capital myself at the moment. So
well, sometimes the way you get capital is wholesale those bad boys. So and Matt Odell is an awesome person to connect with. I would connect with, look in the side chat, connect with Dominic for sure. Okay. Connect with Matt Odell and then speak with Gabe as well. Gabe's awesome.
Okay.
All right. Good to meet you, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't join Subto. Just hang out my Subto students. Don't worry about buying the Subto course. Don't worry about that. All right.
Appreciate it, bud. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Michelle Rice says, Pace, I just want to say thanks for the second Wednesday in the Elephant Challenge. We were on Zoom and my phone was blowing up while we were talking. Of course. It's my job. My job is to provide value to you guys. That's my calling on this earth. Stephanie Vargas, I couldn't not talk to you. Sweet woman.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. So many problems. I love it.
I love it too. I got problems too. I was actually stressing out about a couple of things in my business today. I was like, how am I going to solve these?
I know. And now I totally feel you on the whole filming thing. Like that takes up so much time and it's crazy. But I have this problem and I have no idea if it's just a learning experience or if there's something I can like do about it this time around.
Okay.
So I had a deal that I was buying. Another Subto student was wholesaling it to me. And their contract with the seller ended on closing day. So what happened was all my lenders sent in the money, but one of the lenders, the bank wouldn't let them send it until Monday, and it was a Friday. So the seller agreed to extend till Monday. But the title company on that Friday was like, no, we're not going to do this deal anymore. And they sent all the money back. And now my non-refundable deposit is caught up in all of this. And the seller would only extend their contract if the title company would agree to close that Monday, and they wouldn't. And so now I'm not really sure what I can do.
Okay, so go through this one more time.
Okay, so I have a hard money lender and a private money lender.
Okay, and you're buying the deal to what? Fix and flip?
To fix and flip. Yep.
Okay, and you put up your own earnest money?
Well, no, I had a gator, but now I basically am having to pay my gator back, which is fine. I have the money to do it, but it's annoying. So, so the private money lender and the hard money lender were good to go for Friday. The private money lender went to the bank, and their bank was like, well, because your funds became available this morning, we can't wire the money until Monday, but we can give you a cashier's check, but they're all the way in Florida and I'm in Texas, so that wasn't going to work.
How much is the deal?
The deal total, I was buying it at $493.
In what market?
DFW.
That's a nice ass house at $493 in DFW.
Prices got kind of crazy, but yeah, it's in Plano. It's
okay, Plano. So what's your ARV on that?
It was $640.
Okay, so is it a hotel deal or what?
No. So my husband and I were my husband's a contractor, so we were going to do the work at cost, and we were going to flip it pretty quickly. There was actually not a ton that needed to be done, but it just needed some updating.
Okay.
But anyway, long story short, the closing day came. It was Friday. The last 30,000 couldn't get wired until Monday, and all the other money was there. So my private money lender set up the wire to go through on Monday. And so the title company received all the money on Monday and sent everyone their money back. And now I have lost my non-refundable deposit because the title company refused to close the transaction.
Why?
Because they didn't like that I had more than one lender. It's a really weird situation, but so the seller speaks Mandarin only. And so she wanted to go with this one specific title company that speaks Mandarin. And they're like a tiny little office, and they were like, well, you have more than one lender, and because I had two, and they sent the money back. It was the most bizarre thing. I've never had something like this happen before. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. Like, is there something I put into my paperwork so this doesn't happen again? Or like, how do I fix this?
You know, my wife is on the Zoom. Let's see what my wife says about this. You guys want to talk to my wife for a second? She's probably breastfeeding, and she's like, don't call on me. Hi, sweetheart.
The deal is dead at this point, but I'm just trying to figure out like what to do.
Laura? Oh, she says I'm in lingerie. Goodbye. My wife, I'm leaving tomorrow, so of course my wife she's an awesome wife.
I bet.
Makes me dinner, waiting up bed for me, or waiting upstairs in bed. That's pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
I should be waiting in lingerie for her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do need a lawyer, Peggy, but every real estate lawyer I've talked to about this, or real estate attorney I've talked to about this, says that if they'd been involved earlier in the transaction, they could help me, but they can't help me now.
Why?
I don't know.
I think so. Why do you want to chase this deal so bad?
I don't want the deal so bad. I either want my 7,000 back, or I want to figure out how to avoid this in the future, because it's such a bizarre thing. There's got to be some way around this.
I mean, Leo Aguirre says Scott Horn is your guy for your $7,000. Have you reached out to Scott Horn's office?
No.
That's who I use in DFW.
Okay.
Do you want me to give you his team's number? She'll text you right now.
Okay.
Her name is Susan Tierney. If you email her tomorrow and you say, Susan, Hay said that you guys will save the day for me. Susan will jump over everything to help you out. This lady stays in my guest house when they're in Phoenix. Like, that's how close I am to her. So,
but from a paperwork standpoint,
you can't stop people from doing stupid stuff.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the thing is, I would have had an attorney call them immediately and say, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, there's nothing she's done illegal, and you're canceling the transaction and taking her earnest money. She's abided by the Did you breach contract?
No, the only thing was our contract ended the Friday, and
that's not a problem.
We needed till Monday, and the seller was willing to extend till Monday, but the title company basically said no.
Okay, so why is the seller not just saying, what's the seller saying?
Well, so the seller was like, okay, if we can get the title company to close on Monday, like, we'll extend. And they called.
Did you talk to the seller after your money got refunded back to your lenders and said, what the heck is going on?
No. So I don't have any contact with the seller because the wholesaler got the deal off Privy. I know. The wholesaler
here's your problem. Not saying that buying deals from wholesalers is the problem, but you have no control over the relationship with the seller. Yeah. This is why.
I know.
This is going on YouTube, Stephanie.
Okay.
This is going to be a great example of why, when people say, why don't you love going direct to agent, or why don't you love going direct to wholesaler, and why do you love direct to seller? This is the reason why I love direct to seller, is because you have full control of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So
and this is a double problem because the wholesaler got it on Privy. So there's an agent, there's the seller, then the agent, then the wholesaler, then me.
Okay, here's what I would do. I would call Susan Tierney tomorrow and say, here's my situation. Hay said that you love him and that you'll jump involved and help me. They'll consult for you for free.
Okay.
Get on the phone with Susan and see if she can help you solve the problem. And then shoot me a text and let me know what her answer is.
Okay. I can do that.
Show me a smile. Everybody tell Stephanie she's beautiful and she's amazing. Make sure you tell her. She's going through a thing right now.
The wholesaler is from Subto, by the way.
Then give him a karate chop. It sounds like maybe the agent or somebody didn't set expectations properly. My wife says, what's your Instagram, Stephanie? She'll probably DM you and give you some voice memo advice. My wife says, I want to know how this ends.
Aww.
Amazing.
Danny Q.
Was it, guys, did you have a good night? Everybody have a good night?
Yes.
Was this helpful? Was it annoying when I brought Sperber in here and we tried to ask you guys to do the thrive with bonuses.com? Does that bother you guys?
You convinced me to do it.
You should be doing it. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. I spend so much money on my education. There's things where I spend money that I get my return. There's things I spend money and I get 5 times back. And there's things that I get 100 times back, right? Based from like the really good stuff. So you always get people. Abel Gomez says, hey, I'm signing up right now. Oh, wait, it says it's not available. Is it not available anymore? thrivewithbonuses.com. Let me check on that. Dan Quijano gave you the link to it. There's the direct link. You guys see that in the side chat? They're turning it off tomorrow at noon. If I were you guys, I would pair up. If you were one of the people who are like, I don't have the money, pair up with somebody.
Can I say something really quick?
Yes, please.
I started my real estate journey 6 years ago buying Cody Sperber's course. I shouldn't say I ended it, but I ended up here 6 years later in Subto actually doing deals. So I'm I'm very happy with the journey. I guess.
Are you happy with where you landed?
Yes, I am. Very happy with where I landed.
We're happy you're here too. We love you. We adore you.
Oh, thank you.
Let us know how it goes with Susan, okay?
I will. I'll let you know.
Scott Kane says, who wants to pair up? Who's going to pair up with Scott Kane on thrivewithbonuses.com? Tim F says me. Susan Tierney works for Scott Horn in DFW. Okay. All right, cool. So guys, I'm going to be hanging out with you guys on Subto students. I'll be hanging out with you guys. Who's coming to Charlotte with me? Who's going to come see me in Charlotte? Any North Carolinaers in here? It's like 1 o'clock in the morning in North Carolina. Oh yeah, there is a 3Pay. Courtney says, yes, you are. Love it, love it, love it. Peggy Stevens says, I spent my car payment to join. Peggy, email me, Peggy, and I will reimburse you your car payment. That's how much I think you should join. I will pay for that. Okay. My wife is wearing lingerie upstairs. Do you guys think I should get out of here? 1000%. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's men in here going, I wish my wife would do that. And I'm down here Zooming with you knuckleheads. Love and appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Have a good night.